Hey, that went a little bit weird then. Hello, viewer. Today is it's a Sunday. It's February the 5th, 2023. I am Mr. Brown, and I trust you are all doing very well today. On this evening stream /podcast, we are discussing the goings on this week in the pop culture and on the social media. But before we begin, you can find us here on the YouTube, or if you prefer your entertainment in the podcast form, we are also on Spotify. The links are in the description. So if you have not nodded off, as I always say, in one breath, lots to get through. Shall we get the guest out? Of course we should. So here we go then, folks. First, we see the good inside our first guest. He's a little bit tired, so be gentle with him. It is the Dark Sith Lord, Little Platoon.
Good evening. I had nodded off, so thank you for waking me up. Although I wasn't woken up by your dial tone this time, which is a pleasant surprise.
Still a work in progress, the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Are you well, my friend?
Oh, I'm absolutely exhausted, but otherwise I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, not too bad. You've got staying power. You've got youth on your side.
For now.
Moving on.
Yeah. Draining swiftly away.
Yes. How's the channel going, my friend?
Okay, I think I haven't looked at it much this week because I don't have anything to put up until next weekend. Hopefully, a week from today, the Avatar video will be done and it will be up, and I will not have to touch fucking Smurfs for another year or 2 years. So fingers crossed that will all be done, and then I can move on to more fun, exciting things. But at the moment, that's a drag. So I'll be going away after this to work on that again.
Do we have an update of the length of the Avatar video?
It's still around 3.5 hours, I think, slightly longer maybe, I'm not sure. I think it's currently 3 hours, 20 minutes, but there's a couple of things I actually need to add in. So it'll be about 3.5 hours, I think.
I truly salute your work ethic. Shall we get the next body out, my friend?
Good idea.
Okay, so looking at my script, here we go. Next, he is a talented powerhouse of a man. Just ask as it is. Problem being.
Hello.
Hello there.
I'm sure that was 2 breaths, by the way, but never mind.
Are you well, my friend?
I am doing as well as can be expected. So yes, I'm fine. It's all good. I'm not dying. It's fine.
How's the work on Twitter going?
I am mopping up.
After yourself or other people?
Well, I'm very generous. I like a happy finish.
I think we all do. Moving on. So you well, Lee? Yes.
Yes, I'm not too bad. Thank you very much.
I've never met anybody who doesn't like a happy finish. So, shall we get the next body out?
I think you should.
Okay. From a VPN far away, it is the golden reach around droid of choice. It is Z3PIO. Hello there.
Good evening, Uncle Brown. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Z?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm operating within normal parameters, and hopefully my mic will stay up for the duration of the stream.
You'll be trying to keep it up, yes?
I most certainly will, a bit like how Uncle Owen doesn't.
How is Aunt Beru?
Oh, she's keeping herself to herself. Uncle Owen does tend to get a bit handsy when he gets a few drinks inside him. He started an angry rant about how, despite Jawas making up only 13% of Tatooine's population, I lost the rest there because I had to power down for a bit.
Was he talking about representation?
I think he was talking about all the burglaries that are happening.
There's representation in the crime statistics, yeah.
Those thieving little Jawa bastards, yes.
Racist.
Oh, let's not go down that route, sir, because we've soon got Jawa Power Week coming on.
Jawa power.
Do we have any more guests there? Or is it
We
just
do.
the
We'll
four
get
of
them
us?
out. Okay. And good to have you on, mate. And last but by no means least, he is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. It is the great Mega Geek himself, Ian David Diaz.
Sorry. Hello.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Alcoholic.
Well, you have to drink to be on this channel. Come on, let's go.
That's true.
Either that or you'll be driven to drink. You are
Exactly.
okay, my friend.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. How's everyone?
Yeah, we're not bad. We're not bad. Big week for you this week.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was my little video did very
Your
well.
little
that's quite cool.
presentation on the YouTube.
Yeah. Not as good as someone like Ben and Mr. Blue Boy, but it did all right for me. So there you go. That's cool. Cool.
So you're well, yes. So great to have you on, mate.
Very
So
well,
Shall we
very
just get
well.
on with it? Yes.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Hello, chats. We can see you. Hello. Okay, so episode 118. Wow. End of week musings Sunday, February 5th, 2023. If you have made it this far and you're enjoying this content, and why wouldn't you? Please like, share, and subscribe. Every single click will help this channel grow. It's all about the clicks, baby.
Writing's bigger there this time around. That's cool.
It is. Free eye test still, though. You're welcome. Okay, so let me make my screen bigger. This was episode 3 this week, I do believe.
Indeed it was.
And possibly controversial, I don't know. Who would like to go first? Z, would you like to go first? Episode 3.
Well, why not? What on earth makes you think I
You're
have
very
opinions
loud.
on this very episode?
You're very loud.
Very sorry. The episode 3 of The Last of Us was the story of Bill and Frank, which was touching, poignant, and lovingly crafted. A bit like the first 8 minutes of Disney Pixar's Up, but extended for an hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
The only problem that I had with Brokeback Apocalypse is I got to the end of the episode, and as usual, my partner turns to me for an opinion, as she does with all media that I've consumed before. She did this on The Preacher, The Boys, and most superhero-based stuff. I didn't read The Walking Dead, so she got a complete pass on that one.
Right.
But I got to the point where I thought, I don't remember any of this. It was like I was suffering from some sort of advanced gaming dementia and had somehow erased one of the important storylines from my memory. But that wasn't the case at all. Upon checking back, this week's episode of The Last of Us told a completely different story. One, in fact, that never actually happened. In the game, Bill is alive and he assists Joel and Ellie in obtaining a car and a replacement battery from a clicker in a bloater-infested part of town, which is required by them to progress the story, as you see at the end scene. And Frank appears in this story, but only once, but as a character who's self-deleted via a makeshift rope swing after getting bitten. And Bill, throughout this segment, laments and curses his partner as you play through the level, and Bill is very much alive at what would be considered the end of the episode. I don't have a problem with them being gay, not at all. It's implied that they're gay couple throughout the entire segment, but the story had no resemblance to the reality. The reason that Frank was on the other side of town pretending to be a flag was because Frank hated Bill with every fibre of his being and died trying to escape their toxic relationship. And they just didn't stick to that story. I don't know why. Maybe because they couldn't possibly show a gay partnership in such a negative aspect without being deluged with feedback from all sides of Twitter. But what also pissed me off is they offered Bill, who would have been much better served as a recurring character. So I did not like this week's. Although it was good,
Yeah.
It didn't motivate the story, and they could have done so much more with it, and they could have done so much more with Bill, and they didn't.
Probby, you got any? Probby, thoughts?
Yeah. Is Bill dead? We didn't see him die. We just assumed that he topped himself at the same time. But anyway, that's just neither here nor there. As a piece of drama, it was quite interesting. It was interesting character study. It's quite the political statement of having a prepper, don't tread on me type with gay feelings.
Feelings.
For Frank. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. And so, yeah, it was a change from lesbians, I have to say. Usually it's lesbians on everything. So it was unusual. Not your typical gay men sort of on TV thing, which is different again, I suppose. I was confused by the fact that this was episode 3, and as Z3PO quite rightly said, it didn't really seem to progress anywhere. All this was just to get a car, really. Yeah, there were. I mean, as a piece of drama, it was fine. It was good. As a bit of political pandering, it was quite on the nose. Not necessarily as badly done as normal, which was a relief. There was a lot of things I think that they could have done better, particularly with, forming this sort of little, very small community of 2 and not really facing much in the way of threat.
Yeah.
I think the threat was somewhat missing. So it became a bit of a soap opera without the opera, or soap. So it was interesting, but I don't really see where it fits in. And I haven't played the game, so I don't really know. All I know is what happens in the second game. So how they're going to tackle that is going to be interesting, I suppose. But other than that, nah, it was all right. I mean, I did sit there rolling my eyes for about an hour because,
For what
fridge
reason?
the gaze. I could see where it was going straight off the bat. So yeah, it was gays. They have to die. That's what it seems to be in just about every TV show. But hey, that's what it is. Fair enough.
Would you have liked to have seen Bill come back as a recurring character?
I think Bill was a very interesting character. I feel that once you've sort of gone through his life from the start of the outbreak to where he ends up with Frank at the end, I mean, what's left, really? They've done everything in one episode. But as I say, we didn't actually see him die. Maybe he didn't die. Maybe he pretended to make his partner feel better. I don't know. It's implied that they have, both died, but I don't know. Maybe that will be a surprise. Who knows? Maybe I'm overthinking it.
In the chat, mjuke84, the lesson is when the world ends, get to your nearest gay. You will survive.
Or not, given that they both
Or not.
died.
Lord, thoughts on this episode?
I think it's one of the best episodes of TV I've seen in a good long time.
Wow.
I've heard a lot of the criticisms about it. I don't think any of them hold up or make any sense. Changing from the games, I don't care. I've not played the game. The game, I gather, is much bleaker. It's also much more procedural. And I think people who come into a show like this expecting to see a faithful adaptation of the game don't necessarily account for the necessary changes in format. The game is fine. You're always doing something in the game. If you have to get a car battery, you will always be the first person. You're always in the first person. You are doing the mission. You always have to go around shooting things. You have to get to your objective. You have to find your objective. You have to then move to the next objective. But you're always present at the center of attention. And you are always seeing the world through your character's eyes. That doesn't work in TV drama. You cannot always do that. If you were to do that, it would be incredibly dull as evidenced by the vast majority of video game adaptations in the history of media. It's just not good. Doom did that. Doom is a bad film.
Never seen it.
That's not the point of TV adaptation. On the point of it not progressing anything in the plot, again, I don't understand this criticism at all. I mean, it's quite clear what the episode is doing. What the episode is doing is it's telling us about Joel by remove. The whole point of Bill's arc is that he is effectively the foil character for Joel. He is very similar in his mentality, very similar in the place he's coming from. He's distrustful, he's suffered loss, but he's found fulfillment in his character in a way that Joel hasn't. And Joel loses Tess in the way that Bill does not lose Frank up until right at the end. The letter that he leaves at the end is designed to give us this payoff. It's paying off Joel's arc, not paying off Bill's. What it's telling him is that he must find a cause and a purpose and something that's greater than himself, a reason to survive this. And the letter references Tess, and so the payoff there is that Joel has already lost the person that maybe, potentially, could have been that person to him. But in so doing, it makes him realize that he has a responsibility to someone else still, an ongoing responsibility, and that's a responsibility to Ellie. So it's paid off one emotional arc for Joel without Joel really being in the episode. It's now given him his next motive and the thing which will come to define his relationship with Ellie and so the relationship with the audience as well. I think that was incredibly well done. It's evidently been so subtly done that half the audience has missed it, but that's their problem and not mine.
But their stories still could have been told throughout flashbacks. There was no need for Bill to die at the end of it.
I don't agree. I think that's part of the point of the payoff, is that he is now this is a person who's been able to die fulfilled in an incredibly bleak zombie show, of which we've had countless over the last decade. I mean, how many seasons of The Walking Dead have we had, which is just like unending bleak
75
zombie
trillion.
show? I was incredibly bored throughout episodes 1 and 2. This is the first one that made me sit up and actually pay attention and be emotionally invested in what I was seeing on the screen. I don't think that would have worked as well if you'd had occasional flashbacks away from the bleak present to Bill's backstory. I think would have been a much more conventional approach to take and a much more boring approach to take as well.
In the chats, bear with me, chat moved up. Gui Ramos, Little Platoon, nailed this analysis. Bravo.
It's the only thing about it I would
Lots
nail,
of
because I mean,
applause.
there wasn't like there is aesthetic gayness and there is non-aesthetic gayness. That was another sort of bold and unconventional move it took, in the sense that it didn't
Yeah,
try to
I
portray
agree.
this as like a aesthetically pretty gay relationship. Nobody really likes the idea of slightly overweight, hairy old men boning. And so, yeah,
That's a bit
that was
do,
the wrong
there
close to
is
move.
home.
thing.
That's a
But-
bit too close to home.
But after a certain age, that's the fate of all people, isn't it? So
Yes,
But that's the
age happens to everybody.
Even
Just
the
ask Ian.
straightest man during a zombie apocalypse would have gone, all right then, yep, better grip my teeth. Yeah, I'm interested. A nice safe place with guns and food and wine.
Speak up, Z.
Yeah, of course, I like you.
Did okay, so did anybody watch Friday Night Tights?
I saw about 2 minutes of it.
No.
Yeah, I saw enough of it.
Nope.
Literally the first half hour, they were just going gay, 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 gay.
I mean, I can see why. I mean, I was having this
Yes.
argument with people on Twitter yesterday, which is the sense that, you know, gay has become this, I think I call
Gay.
it product politic at the moment. Like, if you're seeing gay people on screen at the moment, the chances are they're only there to push some kind of political message. And so the audience is expecting that of them. It makes it very difficult to actually tell a sincere story with gay characters in it, as I think that episode 3 was, because a very cynical, weary audience will look at that and they will assume that the only reason it exists is to push the message again. I think the audience is wrong to have this criticism of this episode, because the episode is quite
That's
clearly
one, yeah.
a story in its own right with well fleshed out characters. But I can understand why people would jump to that conclusion. And that's the evidence again of ID politics poisoning art. You will get a sincerely good and sincere story, which people will not watch because they assume it's just the message again, because everything else they've seen is pushing the message. Stop pushing the message, you get better stories. It's not hard.
So what you're saying is, for this was not pushing the message, in your opinion?
No, I don't think this was. It will be interpreted as that because some people have now got to the point where the mere existence of gay people is, and I quote several people on Twitter, forcing it down your throat. Most polite gay people don't do that in the first place. But also, That's just not how life works. You wouldn't say this, and you won't say this if ever Joel shacks up with a woman in the course of this series. That will not be pushing heterosexuality down people's throats. That will just be, that's where the story's going, and these are the characters, and this is the extension of those characters. The exact same thing holds with episode 3, so I have no truck with people who are saying that it's forcing any agenda down anybody's throats. But the problem is that so much other media does do that, so people are making that assumption baselessly, but understandably.
Can I ask a question?
No, it's
Because
very
I
hard
haven't
not to be
seen it.
cynical.
I've not seen The Last of Us. I understand that these two guys have beards, right?
Yes,
Two
both of them,
guys.
yeah.
Did they kiss?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've never seen two men with big beards kiss before.
I can't quit you.
I
Can't quit you. I can't quit you. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, it wasn't.
But I haven't yet to see the show.
At least it wasn't a Sam Smith video. So there is.
Oh,
God,
you had to spoil it, didn't you? With regards Friday Night Tights, literally just for half hour, every 5 seconds, gay, 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 and I think they were being. I think they thought they were being clever as well.
It's not clever, and
it's for fuck's
I used to watch
sake.
the Friday Night Tights religiously every single week,
Yeah,
and then it's
same
just
here.
turned into this alt-right hate hole. In fact, if you go and watch Nerdrotics Nooner, that's a much better coverage of media
Yeah, the Noon is great.
than FNT has become, because it's just gone right down the hill. It's garbage now. I call it Friday alt-rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was a very uncomfortable listen, I have to say.
Yes.
I just thought this made me feel that I really shouldn't be. I felt like I was looking in, outside looking in, kind of feeling maybe I shouldn't really be here.
Agreed.
And that's not a good feeling. But it
so
has
here you go.
descended into something, I don't know what.
Atom Grey, it's so tedious over there.
So heteronormative.
Yeah. I don't think they've.
It was
think
unnecessary.
Yeah, I thought it.
So the show, right? It's about. I thought it was just about this guy and the girl, because the girl has as the key to curing.
Never.
Right, and so you're saying that the third episode, they're not in it. It's just these two people.
They're in it
Right,
right
she
at the
found
end.
a box of tampons. Yeah. And at the beginning.
Yeah. They also get so one of the sub arcs that they have to do is they need to find this car battery because they need to find a vehicle to get them to the place where he needs to
Right.
take her.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that does happen in the end of this episode. But it's also about obviously the characters involved, and this episode it's quite again quite cleverly it's telling you about the character who isn't on the screen via the character who is, which is again it's not conventional storytelling at all. But I thought that was a really clever way of doing it, and it actually made you care a bit about the people you're seeing, as opposed to episodes 1 and 2, which is just like, it's zombies again. I wonder who they're going to be shooting. Maybe one of them will die. That could be interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, I said I've yet to see it. I've not seen an episode yet, but I do know about the game because my brother plays the game.
So,
But
question then, guys. Obviously, we're 3 episodes in, 4th on the way. Are we enjoying this?
Yes.
I
Well,
enjoyed
yes,
the
I
last
have to say,
episode.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it as a whole.
I have enjoyed it.
So what we're saying is we're looking forward to episode 4. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from
I'm
the
looking forward to see where it
diversions from the
goes.
storyline, the retelling and every aspect of the show, I think, has been pretty impressive.
Right.
I'm not sure they'll be able to keep people engaged once they get to season 2 and start following The Last of
Well,
Us 2.
Yeah, and that came up last time. Because at the moment, I think we did mention this last time. At the moment, you can praise the fact that it's relatively fidelitous when it comes to adapting the game, criticize it for deviating from the game, but when it comes to season 2, that will just be flipped on its head, and you will be hoping, presumably, that it changes drastically from the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here you go, folks. Romeo, Tango, November, Zulu. Mr. Brown Alliance, that's me. Got an idea for Lee and the Lord. Why not do some streams providing a more balanced but non-heterosexual view to both
It's not a dirty word.
FNP and the left wing equivalents?
I don't mean I'm not a left-wing equivalent, but
I've always considered you both centrists.
Yeah.
Centrist, yeah.
Yes, I think
Very much so.
most of us are.
I like it when it comes up in conversation and when it comes up on streams like this. I don't care enough about it to do a dedicated anti-FNT stream. I think I know some of the guys who are on it. I think some of the guys who are on it are really nice. Having met them in person, they maybe don't necessarily play up their own strengths when they get together. But it just doesn't bother me that much, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So we're looking forward to episode 4. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
The TV
Is
Antichrist.
it still going?
I know, why?
Is it still going? Is it still on TV?
Is it 2 episodes left now, I think? Are we up to 8 yet?
Yeah, it's 8 episodes down.
I
and
saw
just-
the picture of her with the dressed up as a dad, and that was like, oh my god. Anybody
And
watched
absolutely
it?
nobody can tell that it's Velma in disguise for some reason.
Did anybody
Clark
actually
Kent on
watch this
Scooby-Doo.
episode?
No.
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 Did anybody in the chat, did they watch? Anybody still watching this?
Nobody cares.
I might go back to it after I'm done with Avatar, but up until then, I'm swearing off it.
How
I have better
is
things to
your
say.
Velma vid doing?
I haven't checked that one either. I don't know. It's doing all right, I think.
Moving on.
Moving on. Okay, so that's going to be a very short clip. Okay. Yay!
Oh, gold. Oh dear.
Chords news round. We'll keep it light this week, folks. Keep it light. Okay, so this week on Lord Chords news round at the Little Platoon.
Gunn. James Gunn.
I suppose this was the big news this week, really. Nothing in the world has happened other than DC. So
Seriously.
there is
Seriously.
TV shows.
So there's a list of 10 things they're doing. I
They
think
don't need to do 10 things, in my opinion. All they need to do is make a Superman and Batman film, and then see how it goes from there. Why waste your money on the rest of it? If you're trying to
why
save
waste
money.
another Superman and Batman film?
No,
Always
I- no,
done
I-
Superman and Batman films. I want to
Well-
see
well-
some new stuff.
I honestly think that if they get Superman and Batman right, that will set up the DC universe, or they can step forward. Just like Marvel, they picked Iron Man because that was the rights that they had to, and the Incredible Hulk. That's how they started off with. They had a plan that they wanted to do more films, but they didn't have anything written down, so they just wanted to see how those 2 films would perform first, and they performed well. I mean, Incredible Hulk didn't, but it did, if you know what I mean. And then they moved forward. You have to see if you have an audience first, because if they're going to do this new Superman movie without Henry, you have to see if people are interested in it. You know, beyond the fans of DC, you know, the normies, because that's where the majority of the money's coming from. But they're not going to do that, are they? They're going to do all this nonsense.
here you go, folks. F. McPherson, James Gunn, reassuring his wife that she
Yeah,
will
exactly.
have
Exactly.
a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Never mind.
So, is there anything that stands? That's the cat leaving the room. Is there anything that stands out on that list? Anybody?
I've already
Yeah,
forgotten
I like-
what all of them are.
Waller.
His
like-
announcement.
Waller stands out for me.
Is that
Waller.
Waller Bridge? Is that Waller Bridge?
No.
No, that's
what-
Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
I've
Why-
loved
why-
her
why?
Forever.
Why?
Because
Why have
she's
that
a-
show?
She's a great character.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
to
I
be
hate
fair,
that.
she's a great cat. I'll give her that.
Even
yeah.
in the animated series,
Here you go.
Justice League, she's been fantastic throughout, and
Tim confirms
she
that.
fits in every single segment. She's been put there to make sure that there is a deterrent should any of the superheroes stray from the path. She's there to give them, well, basically to put them down if they turn to the bad side.
Yeah.
She also chases after Tom and Jerry as well, doesn't she?
Oh God.
Oh,
There you go.
oh dear.
I'm not
I'm,
making your
look,
voice.
I'm looking forward to the Lanterns and Booster Gold, because as a kid I remember when Booster Gold issue 1 dropped, and I was very enthusiastic about the character and
Yeah.
the story, and I think that can be quite. I think that will fit James Gunn's quite a quirky sense of humor, and I think it will fit with that.
Here you go, folks.
Yeah,
I was
but they really need to sideline Hal Jordan because I'm sick to death of Hal Jordan. There really needs to be Jon Stewart. He's my favourite Green Lantern, and I'd love to see him in the lead.
Here you go, folks. I was just going to say some of the peeps are kind of excited about Swamp Thing. Cider Feet in the chat. The only thing I'm looking forward to is Swamp Thing, but there is already a series that was made.
They
for
stopped
a few
it
years.
though.
Okay.
Yeah, they stopped it. It's not going anymore.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I'm not looking forward to on that list is Booster Gold because I think the character's lame.
I love Booster Gold.
What is Booster Gold?
Oh, he basically, he's from the future. He steals his super suit, goes back in time.
He's a jerk.
He's a wanker. I don't like him at all.
But that's why I love him, because he's such a jerk. He's such a narcissist.
So hold on.
He's
So
awful.
is the same
great.
woman playing Waller is the woman in that stupid film with the?
Yes.
So she's doing the TV show.
She was in
instead of a
Peacemaker.
movie.
Or, yeah, was it Peacemaker last year?
Yeah, he's basically wiping clean all the Snyderverse stuff except the bits he likes,
Yeah, exactly.
which I think is a mistake. I think if you're going to start again, start again.
Start again.
Although Flashpoint, the movie, does have the opportunity to do that and adjust everything to fit his vision, I don't think that's how it's going to play out.
Did he say that he was doing kind of the DC Universe stuff and then there was a separate offshoot as well?
Like an other worlds.
Which is like all the kind of cartoon stuff and things.
Well, he's
didn't they
casting the same actors in the live action as in the animations, so there's that tie-in. I don't know how that will play out.
Here you go. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong again. Gui Ramos. Booster Gold is the Tony Stark of the DCU.
If you say
Except he doesn't know anything. He just steals the suit, and
Bruce
he
Wayne
doesn't
is the
really
Tony
understand
Stark
it.
of the DC world. It's Bruce Wayne. That's
yeah, I know
Iron
Batman
Man.
isn't actually mentioned
Exactly.
in that list, but Batman
Yeah.
is an integral part of the Brave and the Bold,
Brave and the Bold,
comic
yeah.
and animated series. So
Yeah.
he'll probably be revealed in that and take the forefront.
Anyone tired of superhero films
Yes.
now? I am very
I'm tired
of
of
it.
Marvel.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Marvel. We all know Marvel's going down the tubes, but I'm just tired in general with it all. Don't know about you guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think
Pretty
the Phase poor writing has helped.
Because you
Of
know,
course,
do you
that's
know why the other films were such big successes, like Superman the movie, was because we were just wondering how you're going to make him fly, and they did it. They did it really well in the movie, and it was special effects were very young in those days,
Yeah.
but now they can do anything on screen, so there's nothing really to look forward to, really. You know what I
Here you go,
mean?
Time Prophet. I'm
Visually
tired.
wise.
Time Prophet is shouting, everybody. I am tired
Tired
of
of
all
all
superhero movies.
Vlogs.
Franco, I am totally sick of superheroes.
Yeah. I bet Supergirl's going to look like a little boy. She's not going to be
Easy.
sexy. She's not going to wear a skirt. She's not going to have blonde hair. She's not going to have reasonable sized boobs. You know,
That'll
she's just
be-
going to look awful. I bet
That'll be
you.
an absolute shame because I watched the Legion of Superheroes animated movie this afternoon, which is the lead-in, and it was great. You know,
Yeah.
they kept it pretty much authentic to the original characters, and was thoroughly enjoyable.
But even in the TV show, they
you go,
actually
bad writing.
screw around with her costume, didn't they? They put her in a onesie instead of the costume that everybody knows Supergirl's in. It's just, I don't know. I still think they're following the agenda on this stuff.
Here you go, Hostman, Mr. Brownline says to me, I'm sick of the MCU. And shite movies in general. I think we all that. Okay, so shall we move on from the 10?
Wait, well, I haven't heard Ben say anything about this. Are you there?
I am here.
What
yeah.
do you think?
I don't really. That's sort of the
That's
problem.
why I didn't ask him, because I know.
No, I
yeah.
don't care. I
Yeah.
watched the announcement. I've already forgotten
Yeah.
what half of the films
Yeah.
are actually entail or who's involved in them. I think it would be nice if they weren't quite so presumptuous as to think that they have a 10-year plan already.
Yeah.
The MCU didn't know it had 10
Exactly,
years
it's
of
my
movies in it when it
point.
started.
Yeah.
Do a good film, maybe set up the prospect of a link up later on, but wait until you've seen the reaction to that. And then if it turns out that your first Superman film or your first Batman film or whatever you choose to lead off with actually is good and well received and the audience love it, then you can build off of that. But to suddenly come out and announce off the back of the complete mismanagement of DC, here's our 10-year plan, guys, makes you sound more like Stalin than a head of a major.
That's exactly what I said just now. It's exactly what I said just now. So yeah.
Here you go, F. McPherson. The very definition of reasonable sized boobs is something that is absolutely reasonable and therefore okay to expect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Shall we move on?
I
Yeah.
think we should.
We're back to this then. we moved very fast.
Not moving.
So we'll just pile through it. Okay. I don't even think he announced this first, did he?
No,
Was it
No,
his,
he didn't.
Was it
He
his
didn't.
wife's
third.
project that was announced?
No, the first thing was the cartoon, cartoon thing, wasn't it? And then his wife one was next. I can't remember
Yeah,
the
and then
rest after that.
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's had a lot of work done recently, I'll say.
Is she?
Yeah. Okay, so the Superman film will be called Legacy. So I don't know what that means.
Oh, like Tron
based-
Legacy.
No, it's based on a comic book called Superman
Oh, right,
Legacy.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. Any good?
What's it about?
Do we know?
I haven't read it. I know Dan was talking about it a couple of days ago and he said it's brilliant, so I haven't read it.
Is this the Tom King thing?
No, this one isn't, I don't think.
Okay.
Why couldn't they just not? You know, when he said he's doing the main kind of DC verse stuff, and putting other kind of projects in an extended kind of, it's there but it's not directly connected with the main. Why can't they just make a fan film for the Superman Cavill film for the fans?
I still think they should do Kingdom Come with Henry Cavill and Godot and all the rest.
That would be a great idea. I mean, I don't know what the comic book was like, but I have seen the Superman animated series, and Legacy was a two-parter in that, where he gets brainwashed by Granny Goodness. And
Granny
sent to
Goodness.
Yes, Granny Goodness. And sent to destroy Earth's defences before Darkseid turns up.
Do you know what they haven't done? Superman versus Brainiac, because those stories were absolutely brilliant. Brainiac.
It's
fantastic. They should do that instead. Rather
Yeah,
than
he was the
horror
lead in
comic.
the animated movie I watched today. I love
Yeah.
Brainiac.
Very powerful Brainiac.
Here you go, folks. Not Brian. I think we know this person. They should have made a Cavill Superman movie. Take a break for a few years. I assume that's taken a break for a few years, then rebooted.
Yeah.
Here we go. Christ. Teeth in. Okay, so Fantastic Fun Federation Ferengi Fantasy February. I am strongly opinionated about this.
There we go. Concise.
Fantastic Fun Federation Ferengi Fantasy February. James Gunn is horrible.
Well, he looks like a supervillain. That's
He does a bit.
Yeah.
He does a bit.
Fantastic Fun Federation Ferengi Fantasy February. His movies are trash.
Tell
I
us
like
what you really
Suicide
think.
Squad. I like the Suicide Squad. I like
Yeah,
that.
so did I. It was all right.
I thought it was good fun.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was okay as well.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill is the elephant in the room that refuses to move, isn't it? Yes.
It is
I
a
think it
squandered opportunity, really.
Yeah, it is
That's what the
actually.
fans really, really like. But, hey.
Well, as I said, right, it doesn't seem like they want to give fans what they want, anything from Marvel to DC. But we'll see, right? I mean, I hope I'm wrong about James Gunn. You know, let's find out.
Maybe they should just contact channel favourite Top Gun, Tom Cruise, and just say, Tom, how'd you make a film for the fans? We don't know. How'd you make one?
The thing is, though, to make a Superman movie, you have to have a really good director on board, and also I don't necessarily you don't necessarily have to have a fan, but you have to have someone that understands filmmaking, but also understands the character as well. I mean, James Gunn, I think his opinion is a bit
Do you think his
squiff.
hands
Actually,
are tied?
I think so.
Properly tied.
Yeah,
He knows what he wants to do, but his
but
hands are tied.
I think he's
aren't they?
constrained a bit
Yeah.
with Hollywood as it is now. So
I
know.
get the feeling that he would give Cavill a film in a hot minute.
the thing is, though, what they're doing to our heroes these days, I wouldn't be surprised if Superman did return, he was kind of weak, if you know what I mean, like they did with the Batman.
Yeah.
They kind of just made him slightly weaker, in my opinion. If you compare the Batman, the Batman in the Batman compared to the last iteration of Batman with Christian Bale, those characters are completely different. Do you know what I mean? So,
Lord, are you available to answer a chat, please?
I am. Excellent.
Sahud Akbar in the chat. Platoon, what did you think, because we just mentioned it, of Top Gun Maverick?
I still have not seen Top Gun Maverick. I didn't have time. It's not really my thing either. I hated the first one. I observed the reaction to Maverick, and I liked that people were given a film that apparently they really enjoyed. It's on my list of things that eventually I need to get around to, but I've not got around to it yet.
We're going to do a review of that at some point. I'm kind of 90% the way through doing the slides for Top Gun Maverick at the moment, so it's in the pipeline, folks. So, shall we move on?
Please. Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, more James Gunn. James Gunn says he didn't fire Henry Cavill. Henry was never cast.
That's disingenuous, isn't it, really?
What, after he announced his comeback?
when
Yeah.
they told him.
Yeah, they literally said, we're going to have you back. And then they said, no, forget about it. I think it all comes down to cost and
I
needing
think
somebody
it's
to
that,
carry a franchise for the next 10 years. They're really going to struggle to find a decent enough actor to fill his boots.
That is true.
As I said, couldn't they have just worked out a deal where they don't pay him as much up front, but just take a percentage off the end?
Well, yeah. I
He'd
mean,
do
you
it.
could say,
I know he would. I know he would.
I think he would. And,
just
I
don't
think
get
if
it.
they had a Henry Cavill Superman that was Reeve-esque, like Donner-esque, then I think they'd be looking at $2 billion quite easily, frankly.
Agreed. Yeah.
I can see, I mean, just from James Gunn's perspective, if you do have a very clear idea about what you want to do with this character and where in the character's life you want to set the story, it is perfectly acceptable for someone like James Gunn to say, yeah, Henry Cavill could have made a good Superman in a different story, but not the story I want to tell. That does seem to be his argument. That's tenable. The fans would have loved to see Henry Cavill in a good Superman film, of course. But if you are doing Superman as part of this 10-year plan and you want to work his individual stories into the grander narrative, then you need to cast the person who fits the role at the time of the first Superman film that fits into the grander narrative. And it's perfectly plausible that Henry Cavill just doesn't meet that definition. It's a shame. But, it's likewise, it's a shame that there was no Superman film in production, which seems to have been the only reason for keeping on people like Gal Gadot, is that their films are already being made.
Yeah.
If there had been a Superman film, you would have got a Henry Cavill film, and then they would have moved on. I think that's the plan for Gadot's Wonder Woman and possibly Ezra Miller in The Flash, though there's always that door open quote, which is causing people problems.
As I said, perhaps they should have just had Cavill in his own little universe making Superman films.
Yeah,
while
I
he
mean, they
could.
are doing that in the sense that he set out how all of the new products, most of them at least, are going to fit into the
Yeah.
grander narrative. But then, is it the out universe or the extra universe,
Mm-hmm.
whatever he's calling it? There are other productions that don't fit in with that, like the next Batman film or the next Joker film. And so, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you do that? I guess I don't know. I always get the suspicion that there must be something behind the scenes about Henry Cavill. Not only difficult to work with, but that he's really pissed off the wrong people, and pissed them off in a way that could be quite damaging as well if it were to come out. Not that he's done anything wrong, but the accusations could be made.
Well, I think it started when he started defending the fans in various interviews on TV and on online. So I think that's what I think the people that are in charge, especially, I hate to use this, leftist people, suddenly realized what side he really was on. And so now they've kind of blacklisted him, but they haven't made it public that they've blacklisted him. And I think that's what's actually happened.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Okay, we'll give the final word to Billy Bob. He's not coming back, so get over it. Yes, sir. Okay.
It's a shame, really, because Henry is as far as I'm concerned, he looks like Superman. He really does embody the version of Superman. Just like Pierce Brosnan was really the ideal look for James Bond.
Yeah.
And with both these actors, they gave them crappy scripts. So it's a shame. It's a real shame.
In fact, I'll go back on what I said. We'll give the final word to, not Brian. Cavill needs to declare himself non-binary and wrangle a few fans.
Yeah, seemingly.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to get ahead in Hollywood.
Well, they did what they essentially did with Gina Carano, haven't they, to Henry? But as I said, it's not so prevalent. You know what I mean? So,
somebody said in the chat, I think it was Appion, make Nicolas Cage, is it Bizarro Superman?
Now that would be interesting.
It would.
Wow.
I still want to see the Tim Burton Superman. That looks interesting.
We'll have to wait for AI to catch up and then you can make one yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we move on then, folks?
Yep.
Oh, God. Where's Blue Boy when you need him?
Yeah, Blue Boy, where are you? He loves this, doesn't he?
I must stop making up nicknames for people.
It is also, this has to be one of the shittest reveals ever. The Batman 2 is officially titled The Batman 2. Fantastic.
Ooh, I'm excited. Are you?
No.
Dripping, yeah.
Anybody in the chat, did anybody enjoy the Batman?
No.
I've not seen it. I don't think
They
I can be
deconstructed Batman, made him a bit of a softie, blah, blah, blah. Can't be asked for this stuff anymore.
Here you go. Live from their hot tub. Fantastic Fun Federation Ferengi Fantasy February. I freaking hate Robert Pattinson as Batman. There you go. We know somebody who didn't, who does like him. Star of the show tonight, Fantastic Fun Federation Ferengi Fantasy February. The Batman is shitty.
That's just because you like the alliteration. No, it's yeah. I mean, playing Blue Boy's advocate or Devil's advocate, I can see the appeal in the sense that at least it wasn't just trying to redo the Bale films. Like it wasn't trying to redo Batman. So it was something different. It was a different interpretation of the character, etc. Some of the action sequences were okay. The aesthetic was all right in places, and the fact that it stole its entire story from a really good film meant that the story was half decent, even though you'd seen it before and it was better in 7. But it was too long, it was self-indulgent, it was derivative, it was too dark. He is a shit Batman. The technology wasn't very good, lots of the action sequences made no internal sense, and as soon as you have your big villain payoff at the end being essentially 4chan bad is when I tend to turn off, because it's just so lazy.
But that's the thing, you see, what they did with him is they cut his balls off because, as I said, he didn't catch the villain at the ending. This thing about him being detective was a great idea, but they did nothing with it. All he did was mope around. It wasn't like he was the mentalist or something, or Columbo, that he showed everybody up in the room. He did nothing. And Anyway, they're just taking their heroes and making them soft. That's what they're doing, and I'm not for that at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana Jones is treated that way in the next one. So we'll see anyway.
Oh, they'll be joking about him all the time at his expense.
Here you go, folks. Tim, I like saying this, Hannibal, won't repeat watch.
No, it's very slow.
Here you go, F. McPherson. He was a detective. A dumb one.
The gelded Superman, not Spider-Man. What am I talking? Batman. Jeez, what's going on? Yeah, I mean it's so generic now that you can conflate almost all of them together. I'm fatigued.
Here you go. His costume was
3Fs.
terrible. The cowl, not Simon, resembles Adam West's.
Don't you dare disrespect Adam West.
Adam West, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
say what you will about Superman versus Batman, but that fight that Batman had in Superman versus Batman, that was so good when he took on all those people.
Yeah.
That just goes to show how lethal Batman was. And in this film, anyway, I rest my case.
Okay, so Blue Boy's the only one who'll be looking forward to this. Moving on.
Potentially, I think so.
No.
Peter Safran, that's the other guy, isn't it, who's doing all this, says Batgirl was not releasable.
Well, none of their films seem to be particularly at the moment either. So, what made this any different?
I'll tell you what
the
made
terrible
it.
running.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, they didn't get a really hot girl and they put her in a stupid costume like that. That's the reason why it's nonsense.
I like that they're actually admitting as well that it was so shit, it actually would have damaged their own studio. They're not even trying to dress it up anymore as just a creative difference or a decision that had to be taken for the sake of the grander story. Now it's just, it was awful, guys. We couldn't release that.
Was it $90 million
90
had spent?
million.
Million.
It would probably
dollars.
cost the same again to get it out in the cinemas with the finishing it off with the effects, music, and advertising. So it made sense to just treat it as a tax write-off.
I really want to see it. I really
I really
really.
want to see it.
I wonder where it
I have a
is.
feeling it's going to be worse than Catwoman.
It's incinerated, isn't it?
No, it's probably someone's probably got a copy,
Yeah.
and they'll probably be selling it next Comic Con, I reckon. Just look out for it.
Well, the directors apparently the hard drives were taken before the directors could get a copy of it.
Somebody's got a copy. Someone's got a copy. There's no way that film would have been destroyed without somebody copying it. Absolutely no way.
Well, that was the premise, isn't it? That that to get the tax write-off, they actually had to destroy
Yeah,
all evidence of it.
yeah.
So,
But somebody's got one, I reckon.
I want to
got
see
one.
it. It's like the Star Wars Holiday Special for DC. I desperately want to see it, even if it's just once.
It's a bit of a Streisand effect now. The irony is, if they release it tomorrow, it'll probably get 1 billion views.
Yeah, it
People
probably
wanna
will. Yeah.
Here you go,
Probably
folks. Sidewire Flame, 19 million.
No, it was 90.
90, my friend. 90. And that's
Yeah.
before they even got anywhere near the post-production.
But I mean, seriously though, I mean, it's
lot of
really
money.
weird how these rules don't. It's just one rule for one for the other. Look at Henry Cavill. He's a specimen, isn't he? All the girls drool at his feet. But
And
for
boys.
us, they give us this. They give us this. We mean, it's. I'm not drooling. I mean, she's just awful.
Not yet. Here you go, folks. Sam Adams. Hello, Sam. They should just release it and make money on it being a train wreck.
No, they can't do that.
I don't
They'll
think
lose
they'd
a
get
lot of money.
Yeah, I don't think they'd get the money back, would they?
No, they won't.
If it was like maybe $10 million, perhaps.
Or $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just keep going back to this is a world in which Morbius exists. How bad could it have been
Exactly.
to have just not been releasable?
Exactly.
Here you go. The uninspired reviewer. All the men drool for Cavill too. Yeah.
It's true. It's
The
true.
women love him. Men want to be
Yeah.
like
Want to
him. Blah,
be
blah,
in
blah.
him. Yeah.
That's you. You're speaking for
Easy.
yourself, mate.
Easy.
Why
Okay,
can't
so
give us a sexy Batgirl? Come on.
did we want to watch this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
just
I know
morbid
Ben
Go
wants
then.
to watch
So
it.
there is a market for it then, HBO, Warner's, whoever.
are.
So okay.
Get in touch. We'll stream it live on Mr. Brown Alliance. It can be like a
Yes.
channel exclusive.
Yes. Might get a couple subs off it. What do you think? Probably
Yeah.
lose a few as well. Okay, so yeah, we want to see it. Mr. Saffron, Mr. Gunn, Mr.
The Gunn's got a
Zadlov.
copy somewhere.
Mr. Zadlov. We want to see it. Okay. Let's move on. More DC.
Yeah.
Big week, as I said. Nothing else happened in the world, just DC this week. Gal Gadot, was it Gadot? Jason Momoa, Ezra, channel favourites, Ezra Miller.
Ezra bloody Miller.
Miller.
Who is doing well in his therapy. So we should all be really, really thankful and grateful for that. You know, because that's really important.
Yes. And Zachary Levy have the door open to reprise their roles in James Gunn's DCU.
Very selective.
Is it a mistake getting rid of Wonder Woman?
No.
Oh,
I
but
think so.
the door's open for her, isn't it? She
Why
wants
have-
to-
Why have we not got a Wonder Woman film? 'Cause I know it got canned, but why are they not going to do one?
I personally, I do like her, but I personally think they could have got someone more hotter than her to play Wonder Woman. Personally,
Also, someone who could have acted just a little bit.
Yeah, on
you go,
that
folks.
subject, I watched Gal Gadot in the Tom Cruise film Night and Day from 2010 last week.
yeah,
What?
And her acting in that, her accent was a lot clearer than it has been in any Wonder Woman movie.
it wasn't Night and Day. Oh, it was Night and Day. She played the woman that he met in Paris, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it that bit? Oh yeah, yeah. She was
Naomi,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was okay. Yeah, she was pretty good in that. I don't understand why she's so
The director, I
incoherent
guess.
in the
Yeah.
superhero flicks.
Here you
Maybe
go.
they
I
told her
think
to lay it on thicker.
Maybe.
Rennie L. I think we know this person, don't we?
We do.
Yes. Yes.
Hello.
Huge mistake for DC. And I don't think she means Doomcock either. I'm here all week.
I think James Gunn said something about these soon to be released films, The Flash and is Aquaman as well, and they are actually going to tie in to what comes next. So they're not actually these are not Elseworld or whatever it was. It'll be interesting to see with Zachary Levi though, because he posted a tweet, or he responded to a tweet saying that Pfizer is a great danger to the world, which sort of implies that he's a little bit anti-vax. And it will be interesting if he survives that.
Yeah.
But it would also be interesting if he doesn't survive that, and Ezra Miller does, because apparently you're not allowed to shit on a big pharma company, but you are allowed
Pfizer.
to beat up your fans and steal things and take drugs and all the rest of it. So,
Strangle people as well and steal.
But he's having
Jack Daniels.
therapy. He's having therapy.
The only one
He's
that
responding
I'm
well, people.
really unsure why they've canned is Aquaman, because I mean the first film did over $1 billion, and those were good numbers for Warner Brothers. So if they were going to keep anyone out
Yeah.
of those four,
I know,
I would have
seems
kept
silly,
Jason
yeah,
Momoa.
Yeah.
Unless,
Billy,
of course, Aquaman 2 is garbage.
Billy Bob must be a slow week. Every topic is DC.
to be fair, it was
Indeed.
a big DC week.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so anybody looking forward to the Flash while we're here?
Well, Gunn says it's really brilliant. Apparently, the Flash film.
Yeah, we've said as well, haven't we, that after everything that's gone on, wouldn't it be amazing when it comes out and then
But it will
We
be
go-
a really
we go watch
useful
it.
standard. If James Gunn has
it's
said
like-
that The Flash is a brilliant film, and it turns out that The Flash is shit, then we can infer from that James Gunn's standard for brilliance is not very good. So a lot hinges on this. If The Flash is terrible, then his plans for DC are probably terrible as well. If it does turn out to be surprisingly good, maybe he's onto something.
We'll
What's
see.
his space?
Okay, it would be funny though if The Flash was incredible and we're all here going, "My God, what a film that was!"
Turns out it's just
Yeah, but it has
live
Ezra
action.
Miller.
It's a biopic of Ezra Miller's last 2 years. Then it would be definitely watchable.
Okay, so I think this is the last DC. So there was a glimmer of hope. Channel favourites Superman and Lois will continue for one or more seasons. Apparently, because James Gunn said, because people seem to like it.
What does he know?
I like
What
it.
you-
I like season
enjoyed
one.
the
I
first
like
two
it. I like
seasons.
season
It's been
one.
really
Yeah.
good.
I want Rennie to be here to
Season
say
two,
this is a
not so much.
fugly Superman.
Fugly Superman.
Fugly Superman. Yeah.
How many?
He's a very
is it-
pointy-faced man.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Z, how many seasons have we had?
2 so far.
Right. Okay.
And it's on par with the first couple of seasons of Arrowverse. It's very
Yeah,
engaging
Yeah, I loved
I've
Arrowverse.
thoroughly enjoyed the
TV.
seasons. Yeah.
It's a shame.
And, I'm glad
Arrowverse
it's
copied
coming
Batman,
back,
didn't it? But it was still good, though.
Is he a
Very good.
candidate to replace Henry Cavill?
No.
I'm assuming the answer is no.
He's a
No.
different kind of Superman.
Yeah, he's not. He's fugly, but he's not bad.
He's a good
Yeah,
Superman. He's a good Clark Kent as well, actually.
Right.
I think
okay.
before you move on, I think Rennie has offered to pop on just so she can deliver her
Excellent. Excellent.
Wow. Okay. So we'll move on then.
Okay then. Sorry, Rennie.
Sorry, Rennie. This is for Billy Bob. We're no more DC stuff. So anybody see this? Time Bandits, which I think is it on Apple TV?
I think it's going to be on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Here we
But
go.
Titty's spoiling things again, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, she's here.
Hello.
Hey, I heard Ian say he wanted me to be on, so I
Oh,
just
yes,
hopped on
definitely.
to say Fugly Superman. So
Definitely fugly Superman. Definitely.
plus I figured Brown would be okay with having a sixth person because I know how his OCD works. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, it would
like,
have been
I
better
can't
if you were at the beginning, but you know.
I was under obligations with the
Yes.
hubby to watch
Yes.
Matrix 1 and 2, so we just finished number 2.
Oh, no. Oh, well, yeah, I didn't like to. But anyway.
No, not a fan so far of number 2.
Yeah, it's a steady descent. 1 is good, 2 is and 3 is
Yeah. Yeah,
Quite
exactly.
close.
and
Mm.
4 is just like
Rubbish.
Oh, God.
Just right out, huh?
Oh, dreadful.
Rennie, are you
Absolutely
staying
dreadful.
then for a bit?
If you'll have me, it's up to you.
Of
It's
course.
your channel. Yeah.
Okay. So
Did we talk about Harry Potter?
not
No,
yet.
not
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
not yet.
Right. Okay. So
Y'all, she's staying.
Socrates, Glow Athena. Mr. Brown answers me. Can you say Watiti? No.
Taika
Taika
Waititi.
Waititi?
Anyway, okay. So, Time Bandits reboot, Apple TV. Terry Gilliam
Leave it
went
alone.
to the sets. I think it was November. He was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. He didn't make it. He lasted 3 days and he left. Not happy, apparently.
Didn't he say he thought they were disrespecting the source material?
They
He
are.
was not happy.
They are.
Not a good
Yeah.
sign. I loved the Time Bandits film, and I just you can't bring that kind of magic. That was in a bottle. You know, it was completely unique. David Warner was fantastic as the
Yeah,
villain.
great film.
John Cleese as Robin
Connery.
Sherwood was amazing. Sean Connery. I just don't see how you can really.
Well, the
turn
the
that
big
into
question is why didn't
a
they
series.
hire Terry Gilliam to do the series? Why at least get him to
Yeah.
direct one of the episodes? You know, so he can
Yeah, it
put
doesn't
the
make
tone
sense.
right, and then people can carry on from there. Why didn't they do that?
Well, it's Titty though, isn't it? He's the darling, isn't he? Of whatever. He's
But it's the
darling
quote
of
there is his
something.
disdain for the entire project was quite obvious. Yeah, but it should have been obvious way before you hired him because that's his shtick. That's his
Yeah.
humour.
That's
He
what
is.
he does.
It
He's
is what he
super
does.
campy. Yeah.
And we saw it with Thor: Love and Thunder. He's
hate it.
transitioned from the days when he could write quite thoughtful and heartfelt stories. I mean, The Hunt for the Wilder People is always the one that comes foremost to mind. He got big. He's aware that he's big. He has a massive ego, and his ego lets him think that he's kind of like the punk rocker of screenwriting.
Yeah.
All he's there to do is to fuck everything up.
Did you guys ever see the movie What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that one, and it was great. So when Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok came out, I was like, okay, it'll be pretty cool. I'm like, oh, I hate it. I couldn't even watch Love and Thunder. I just,
Yeah.
I
Who's
was like,
making
what
lots of noise with
happened?
their mic? Is it you, Rennie?
Could be me. I accidentally dropped something. Sorry.
Here you go,
Coming
folks.
here, ruining
Yeah. Ugly,
do.
stupid
Bloody
loser.
women.
Hollywood. This is spot
We
on.
become Friday
Hollywood.
Night Tights all of a sudden.
Oh no.
Gay, gay, gay,
Gay. Women gay.
gay. Hollywood is a gay cesspit of gay nepotism and gay exploitation. They're not going to hire the right people. They hire their people.
Yeah, it's true.
Gay.
That's exactly what they're doing. If you think that statement is wrong, you need to talk to some of the people in Hollywood, actors especially. They're all against it, but nobody wants to speak up. They're too scared to speak up.
Because then they'll be
Seriously.
ousted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
And the great shame as well is you can't copy genius. You can mimic it, but it will always find you out. And the thing is with Terry Gilliam, he is so unique as a filmmaker. Only Terry Gilliam can make a Terry Gilliam style TV
That is
show or
true.
film because there's no one else. That mindset has been crafted since the days of Monty Python and all throughout, and that is, I just find it really insulting that you're taking something like the Time Bandits and trying to shovel in this turd of a man into trying to make this TV show. It's just going to fail because it's not going to have any of the Terry Gilliam-esque, Python-esque humor in it, and that's
is why we
fundamental
loved
to
it.
the Time Bandits. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sorry, Lee, didn't mean
It's a
to
discourse.
interrupt.
have they? So
It's all right. You're
have
not
they
brown.
Have they replaced? So there was a little boy in the movie, right? So have they replaced it with a little girl this time round? And is the girl from Friends playing God? I think she is apparently.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, we said that. Whatever her name is, Phoebe. And
Well,
not
happily,
Waller-Bridge.
it is on Apple TV, so however bad it is, only about 5 people will ever watch it. So there is that.
Oh God. You'd be surprised how many people actually watch Apple TV.
Apple,
kinda
just
weird.
stick to, just keep making your laptops. That's all I can say. Okay, so should
And
we move on?
iPhones.
Yes, it's just too insulting.
Dexter.
Dexter New Blood. Apparently, it's been cancelled. Which spoilers, boys and girls. Ian, why has it been?
Well, the thing is, right. So basically, when they made Dexter, and I can't remember, it was on Showtime. It was a huge hit. You don't realize how big Dexter was. It was huge
It was
around the
massive at
world.
time, yeah.
The last season was really bad, and all the fans were up in arms about what they did on the last season. Then they brought it back, right? Was it 7 years later, whatever it is,
Yeah.
almost 10?
Yeah.
And it's called New Dexter New Blood, where he's moved out of Florida and he's in this place. Anyway, that
Spoilers,
is
folks.
Showtime's biggest rating show ever on Showtime when this came back. But they made a mistake because they killed him off because they didn't think people were going to be watching it, or they think people was going to watch it, but they didn't realize how huge the fan base was. So,
Oh God.
so they killed him off. So I don't see how they're going to bring him back. And now they decided to cancel it, I guess. So that makes sense.
Was
We don't
this
really want to spoil it.
latest series good then?
It was really entertaining.
Right. Okay.
I really enjoyed
How do you
it.
make a prequel to a mass murderer who starts? I mean,
No,
He's
well,
too old,
no.
obviously, to play the part.
Yeah.
So what, they're going to recast it with someone else?
I think what they were going to do
younger
is
Dexter,
recast. Yeah, with that guy who plays Dexter, I can't remember his name now, being one of the producers, whatever. But it's a stupid idea. I mean, might as well go out on a high and just leave it. So I guess that's the conclusion they've come to. So yeah, it's a great show though. If you get a chance to watch it, you should watch it. It's really good.
My
Great
mum is obsessed with it. She loves Dexter.
My
it's really
ex-girlfriend was mad for it. Dexter, that is.
I was gonna say.
Wacka wacka.
Is that why she's your ex? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Shut up, Lee. Okay, so Hollywood does it again by the sounds of it. They do something good and they do the Tony Stark. So there you go.
And then they do prequels.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Bad Boys 4 Return of Burger King is in the
Yeah.
works, apparently.
Martin Lawrence is going to be bigger in this one, I reckon. It's going to be a film about him and Burger King.
Oh my god.
Why?
Because they can't think of anything new, and they're just trying to bring back the old stuff that everybody likes. So they'll be like, "Oh, I want to watch that." Since all new entertainment sucks, this is an oldie but goodie, and I know I'm going to like it. That's what at least Hollywood thinks.
I heard that they're going to be casting Chris Rock in this
Cheers,
film,
Franco.
so it's going to be interesting.
Is he going to smack Will Smith in it?
I saw what you did there. It's very good. That's a thinking man's joke, everybody, from the Mega Geek. Thinking man's joke.
There you go.
Directors of is it Batgirl or Batwoman or Batchild? I don't know.
Batgirl, I think it's called. Right? They're directing this. They set the fourth one, aren't they? But I mean, what's his name? He needs a hit. Will Smith needs a hit.
Yeah, figuratively, not literally.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I was going to say.
Because the film he made with Apple TV, that one where he plays the slave running around and the people trying to get him, they thought that was going to be Oscar bait. They thought that was going to be nominated for an Oscar, and they just completely snubbed it. So now he needs a film that would put him back in the light, I guess.
Here you go, folks. Franco Walker. I hate these films.
I don't like them. They're okay. The first one was okay.
Yeah, the first one was decent. After that, it's just like, why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord, Bad Boys, your cup of tea? Cup of thought?
Never seen it. Don't care.
Yeah, same here. Okay.
Bad boys. What you gonna do? Sorry. Go ahead.
Z, are you into Bad Boys before we move on?
Ooh.
I watched the first one. I thought it was rubbish. I haven't seen any of the others. It was just a mediocre movie that I've seen.
The thing I hate about the way it's directed is that when they shoot the action sequences, they do all this trickery, like make the camera move around in fast motion and stuff. They don't show you exactly what's going on. They do so much crap in the action, which spoils the action, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I did tell a slight lie. I have seen a little bit of one of the Bad Boys films because they watch it in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've watched the film via them.
Yeah.
That's as much as I've gone.
It makes me wonder whether Ben actually goes to the cinema. He's
Yes.
never watched this. He's never watched that. He's
Yeah,
never
he's an
watched.
international trendsetter. He flies to India a lot.
He does
apparently.
indeed. He does. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Bollywood kind of guy, huh?
Oh yes, massively. So I love the whatever it is they do over there. It's great.
R.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, that's
so-
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my god.
I've seen that. That's a good film.
Which one? The first one?
The first one. The first one is
Yeah, the
good.
first one was okay. Yeah.
So not needed then.
No.
No, not most of Hollywood.
Harry Potter and the Black Kid. Yeah.
Harry Potter. This is the game then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's out in 5 days apparently.
It's out. Yeah, I've got early access on Tuesday, I think.
Oh wow.
So I shall be possibly live streaming that on Tuesday because I need to do that 100k Q&A thing at some point as well. So I might combine those two, and I shall be trying to remind myself of all Harry Potter lore as I ventilate myself on a stream. I haven't actually read this article. Do we know what the loaded questions were about reclaiming it from J.K. Rowling? Is it like, why are you content adapting a story from a transphobe? I'm assuming that's the question.
Well, it just says it there in the bottom, in the wake, or is it the woke of the call for a boycott?
Yeah, that's really backfired, hasn't it? Ultimately, the Streisand effect strikes again. Don't tell people not to buy stuff because they will automatically go, well, I'm not doing as I'm told. Especially Gen Xers who just absolutely refuse to do that, and they'll just go and buy it en masse.
Or
Even
they'll
people
buy
who aren't
it.
Harry Potter fans are buying it.
They'll buy it out of curiosity. They'll be like, oh, well, why don't you want me to buy it? Now I have to buy it and see what's going on with it, you know?
Most normies are blissfully unaware of the Twitter drama.
True.
And are just going to buy it anyway because it's got Harry Potter on it. You know, they don't know what's going on because I think
What
only
is the
insane
Twitter
people are on Twitter.
drama for me?
What, around Hogwarts Legacy?
What is the...
What's it called on the tables?
J.K. Rowling is the worst person since Voldemort, and she thinks that women exist, and therefore is a Nazi-adjacent fascist. And Harry Potter, which is one of the most, if not the most popular literary works of recent times, must therefore be reclaimed from her in order that people can continue to enjoy the work that she created, whilst unpersoning her and pretending that she has nothing to do with it and that she doesn't exist because she's evil. That's the insanity. There's been calls for the boycott of this game. Nobody calling for the boycott of this game, though, as far as I'm aware, has called for boycotts of, say, Universal Studios, which has Harry Potter theme park attractions, which pay her lots of money as well. There have been attempts to get her name removed from the front covers of her books. The New York Times ran an ad campaign on the subway in New York saying something like, imagining the creation without the creator. I mean, this is the Journal of Record of the United States advocating unpersoning J.K. Rowling because of something she never actually said. And it's turned into this because all games journalists are fundamentally hacks, which is why Gamergate still trends whenever there's any story about a controversial video game. They are some of the most dishonest and politically motivated people out there, and are leading the calls for this boycott, which is why you get like places like IGN asking these loaded questions. I can't remember if it was Screen Rant or some other organization was the one that posted like a 3,000-word essay from a contributor all about trans stuff, which mentions Hogwarts Legacy, talking about, you know, can you reconcile with yourself if you support trans people buying a game from a fascist? It's like, this isn't journalism, and you're not talking about the game. And also, inconveniently, underneath the article is a link to sell the game from which your newspaper or games outlet will profit from commission. So just it's a complete grift from start to finish. I'm quite looking forward to the game for its own reasons. I grew up with Harry Potter. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I liked it growing up, and it does form sort of the imagination of a whole generation of people. And I'm interested to see what they do with the game, which is set way back in sort of the 1800s, isn't it? Which makes the existence of black students at Hogwarts slightly questionable, but nevertheless. But that's all stuff that you wouldn't gather from reading previews of the game from IGN, because they aren't actually interested in the game.
Is she responsible for the game itself? Does she have an input into the game, or is it just somebody that just wanted to do the game?
I think like George Lucas used to have a relationship with sort of the old expanded universe stuff. It will be run past her for her sign off. Right. I don't think she's very responsible for the writing of the thing itself. But I think she would have had to okay a lot of the stuff that goes into it because it becomes officially law, and there's a whole sort of expanded universe in Harry Potter now as well. So,
eager folks, Guy Ramos says the game is selling really well. Those who said they would boycott it were waving a virtuous flag. I was just going to say, are they going to buy it anyway and pretend?
Probably.
They just
absolutely will, but they won't admit to it. Yeah.
Or what they'll do is they'll buy it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
They'll buy it, they'll stream it, and they will use that as an opportunity just to shit on it, basically. I think I've already seen some people do that. Some people who had like review copies have already been sort of putting stuff out and then just coming up with the most asinine criticisms of everything from the gameplay to the art style to the dialogue to whatever, because they're so motivated to hate it, they will find any excuse with which to do that. Someone even said the fact it has an inventory screen means it's just copying Destiny 2. Like, that's the only game in the history of games that has an inventory screen.
That's dumb.
If that's where you're going with this, then just fuck you. But
that's hilarious.
Here you go, ugly stupid loser. I heard a dev team fought to put a options for character customization. If J.K. Rowling had final say, that would mean that she would have had to approve it.
I mean, but the whole point of
She's not
when your character
anti-trans.
in your character creating, you are choosing your gender.
Yeah.
So you don't need an option for trans people. The whole act of character creation is that. That's what you're doing. I mean, it's going to cause trouble. I think there's certainly in the books, and I don't know if it translates into the games as well. There is, for example, a staircase. The staircase up to the girls' dormitory. If you try and go up it as a boy, it turns into a slide, and you just go down. So it's a transphobic staircase. That will be fun to play.
What?
But how would that
It's in
even
the
work
books,
if you have a
Brown.
trans option? Do trans people get to go up any staircase they want and use any bathroom they want? Who knows?
Yeah.
What a
Could be
dilemma.
problematic.
Indeed.
It's still going to sell a bucket load, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
It already
and look,
is.
Yeah, it is.
it could be complete garbage. I don't know. Lots of modern games aren't very good. I'm looking forward to finding out, but I'm going to be playing it as a game first and foremost, and because it's a game set in a world that I grew up with. That's my reason for playing it. If it turns out the game is shit, I will happily say so on the live stream. If it turns out it's okay, I will also say that. I'm not actually that interested in playing it as a cultural statement, though I think those cultural statements need to be made. It will be nice to rebuke these fanatics if it turns out to be the best-selling game in a generation. That will be a nice thing to see.
Why can't people just accept this for what it is, a game? Why do they want to
Because there's
just
gotta
smash
be-
everything down? Why?
Because
there's gotta be-
0.03% want to shit on everything, basically.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Exactly what Probby just said. So there's always got to be those people out there that are hate watching or hate playing just for clicks and super chats. We won't name these people, but you guys know who the majority of them are. They do it because that's what sells. It's like, or they bring like the whole coalition of theirs to rant about it on social media for popularity. It's so dumb. It's like, it's just a game. It's just a movie. Let it go.
Here you go. Hostman says, Mr. Brown answers me, I grew up on Harry Potter, so that's why I want to play it.
That must
And
have been
I will say,
uncomfortable.
oh, good for you.
I don't care what anybody says. I love the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not
Yeah.
grammatically correct 24/7, but you know what? It paints a really descriptive picture. You can, you know, when you close your eyes after you read what certain things look like, you can picture them. You know,
It's a series of books that
Yeah.
you know, a generation of kids who were not interested in books suddenly were interested in reading again. So
That's
I think
exactly
it served
right.
a very,
She
very good
inspired
point.
people to read again, at least children, you know, that were bored of all the mundane, like stupid stuff. Like, yeah, I grew up with Dr. Seuss, but it's not for everyone, right?
And the world she
so-
creates is incredibly vivid. It's full of
Yeah.
life. It provides a common reference point for more than one generation, for a good couple of generations. Everyone knows what you're talking about if you say I'm a Slytherin. They already know what you mean, and there aren't that many works that come around like that. And it's nice to have those. And I don't like when people try to destroy them for reasons of politics, which is basically what's going on. The answer to the question is why we can't just treat it as a game is because you do have an entire group of people out there for whom the idea that art exists for its own sake is effectively akin to fascism. These people insist that the art is irreducible from its creator. If its creator is an unperson, you have to either unperson the creator or you have to destroy every work they've ever created. It's the same with every religious fanatic movement throughout history. It's no different from the Stalinists and the Maoists. We just now call them trans rights activists, so hooray for them.
There we go.
No, I absolutely
said.
can't enjoy World War II movies because Hitler bad.
It's true.
And monetization gone.
did say
Tim, I like
bad.
saying this. Hannah, I can say I've never disagreed with the little platoon.
Oh, then I'll have to do my work harder, won't I?
I will say
That's right.
I disagreed with him last week. I think that was the only time.
You
I've
better be
disagreed with him.
nice, Brown.
Yeah, you
be
can't
I'm
nice.
lose
always
Platoon.
nice.
I'll cancel you.
We
I-
love our little platoon here.
I
Be
disagree with him
nice.
all the time.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy that.
So, will these wank tards? Will they be
Wank
watching?
trads.
Yeah. Will they ever watch the Harry Potter films again?
I
course
guarantee
they
you they
will.
already have.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
they
exactly.
will.
Or does that
but
mean
they
they're
say that they don't.
two-faced?
Yeah.
No, they'll sit there and enjoy
Hypocrites.
it and then just hate themselves afterwards.
Or
They're
they'll like, say
non-binary
that they
faced.
don't. Yeah, there you go.
In the chat, friend of the channel, anti-derivative
Jill.
Jill. Hello, Jill. I pre-ordered this game. I can't wait.
What is it set in? What year is it? Is it like a prequel or
The
something?
1800s, so yeah, it's a good
Oh.
sort of 2 and a bit hundred years before the books are all set. So it's way back in time before all of the characters that we know, and there shouldn't be any Dumbledore or anyone in there.
There shouldn't be any Blackhead there either.
Well, I did say that earlier.
did say
Yeah,
that.
it's a little bit.
Well,
You
hold on.
kind of have to.
You can say that they could have. I mean, they could be royalty because if you look at the
true.
British Empire, they would
Yep.
have had princes and.
Well,
such.
He would have an accent then, wouldn't he?
Is it technically alternative reality anyway? So we're
No.
only
Well,
we're
no.
only judging it by our standards.
That's
of this
true.
time.
Are you saying platform 9 3/4 doesn't exist? There.
Oh, I don't know if you
Probably.
run at the
Breaking
wall
hearts.
hard enough, you'll find out.
Time Prophet in the chat.
I've been
You'd
there.
want to be really careful reading this one.
I've been on the real
I-
platform 9 3/4.
I
I say we throw
hear
Brown into it.
that was misunderstood.
No, he was Austrian.
Did you see that? I posted a video of Himmler. No, it's the Hilter.
Watch the buzzwords.
Yeah, Mr. Hilter. I put a video of him up, and it's him at the Olympics in Berlin, and he's rocking backwards and forwards.
Oh, I saw
like
that,
a
yeah.
complete speed freak. It was.
Do you know
hilarious.
if this is set in the 19th century? How come the black guy's got a jerry curl? What's going on there?
Oh no.
Oh, Ian.
It's weird.
Magic. It's magic. Magic
think-
and air relaxant.
I think, if I remember rightly, in the lore of Harry Potter, there's like one wizarding school for effectively half a continent. So, like
wizarding.
Hogwarts does all of England and Northern Europe. There's one school for all of West Africa, for example. So it's, I guess, yeah. Going back to, I can't remember who said it earlier. It might be the case that you can justify it on those grounds, in the sense that the school has an incredibly large catchment area, and people just happen to move there. I don't know. I think it's more just the case that the game is going to go, and the fear would be that it does go out of its way to be very progressive by having like transgender identity options in a bid to respond to the people trying to cancel it. It's kind of like an artistic apology to them. I have a feeling they will try and do that. I don't want them to do that, but I wouldn't put it past them as well.
Soul Glow. He's probably got Soul Glow bottle somewhere.
Yeah.
Here
Here you go. The uninspired reviewer. This isn't me, but I've never. I watched 20 minutes of the first one, and that was enough. Best Harry Potter film.
Well, it's easy. It's Deathly Hallows Part 2 because I'm in it at the very end. So.
Wrong. It's
Yeah, I'm
number
going to say
3.
wrong. Yeah, it is number
Prisoner
3.
of Azkaban is so awesome. It's
Good
a
choice.
little bit
Awesome.
more different than the book than it should be, but it is a really awesome movie. It's my favorite.
Okay.
Here you go. Monetization gone, but at Mr. Brown Lights from Franco Walker, did they have in the 1800s? Well, they do now.
No, they didn't. That's
They
a
had
simple
trams.
Trams. Yeah, like
Trams.
Yeah. Trams.
Trams.
Yeah.
See, you know what, Brown? It's really cool because not only do the guests
Speak
try to
up.
get you demonetized, but the chat does as well. So
Yeah,
at
no,
least
set of
it's,
bastards.
everyone's trying to
Set of
participate.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, set of bastards.
Yeah.
Chat, your favourite Potter film, and we're not talking Brian Potter either. Uninspired,
Or Dennis Potter.
Azkaban, Barbara Lawrence, Johnny Lawrence's mum, Prisoner of Azkaban, Hostman, Azkaban, then Deathly. Oh God. I think this one's
I
for you,
just seen
Problem.
I saw.
Tim Hannibom, I like saying Hannibom in the chat. Prisoner of, what's that say, Problem?
Azkaban. As.
Arizona.
Goblets of Fire.
Mm.
I'm glad you skipped that one.
Azkaban.
Yeah.
We
Looks
got
like we have a winner.
Chicken Dinner. Azkaban.
Yeah.
Then
Good job,
ties
Chad.
with Giblet of Fire, yes.
That
Yeah.
would have been a completely different movie. It had giblets in it.
It seems to be The Prisoner is the one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good one. That one was really hard to top. I'm telling you guys.
Mm. Usually third ones are bad, so they say.
Star Trek 3.
Yeah, well, Star Trek 3 was absolutely brilliant, but yeah, so...
Okay. Anti-derivative Jill, Half-Blood Prince,
Ooh.
Franco, Prisoner of Azkaban.
And it says Azerbaijan.
It's a great movie. I prefer the last one. Definitely
last
Hallows
one.
Part 2, mainly because Azkaban introduces a time travel mechanic and then never uses it again.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains why this guy's got Jerry curl then. Maybe he's from the future.
Maybe he's got a time
Yes.
turner.
Exactly.
Well, see, that's what number 3 does, time turner. So maybe he had one, and
That's
he just
right.
traveled back.
Yeah.
To a very racist period of history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we move on from this hot topic?
Moving on.
Well, can I ask one question?
You're going to?
Okay, cool. Because I'm going to. But
It's may
hey,
I.
Yeah, well, it's done.
Get on with it.
So, Prabby, what role were you playing in Deathly Hallows 2? I want to look.
I was a wizard parent on platform
You
9
weren't-
3/4.
You weren't a
Oh,
student?
okay.
No, but I was a Slytherin wizard in the Fantastic Beasts 2. Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to
Were
ask
you?
if you were a muggle or a pureblood, but I think that answers it.
He's a pureblood.
There you are.
If he's a Slytherin.
Interesting.
May I move on now?
No.
Moving on.
We're
Move
talking
on.
about me.
Okay.
No.
Move on.
Of course you move on.
Speak up. Okay, let's move,
Move
on
along.
from... Move along.
along.
Nothing to see.
Moving
Move
on.
along.
Ooh. I do
Ooh.
like her, though. She looks nice.
Here you go, folks. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone topped Audible's 2022 bestsellers chart.
She just keeps winning. And I love it. I'm here for
She's
it.
all
For
about
those in
winning.
the United States, philosopher means sorcerer, apparently.
She's
Well,
got it
that's the
sussed,
bastard.
That is
hasn't
weird.
she?
Got a shite load of money. So she has
She
got
does.
it. Something.
Well done. Good girl.
She's a good girl.
Is she totally uncancelable? Not that she'd give a shit anyway, but...
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely she is.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a shame, really, because she's responsible for that whole thing, this wonderful thing that millions of people around the world love.
Joy.
And it's ridiculous. The people.
It's a spectacularly bad strategic move. This woman is, she's one of the most popular authors ever to have written in English. She's always been considered to be on fairly, well, like the soft left, but she's always been quite a progressive in American terms. She's always donated to progressive causes. She's a feminist, and she's also one of the most popular women in history. And this is the person that the trans rights activists have decided to try and make an enemy of. Like, it's the least... You don't do that. It's a terribly bad decision to try and cancel this woman. She is uncancelable. And she could have been on your side if you weren't a complete nutter.
But you do realise that this whole movement is about destroying women, don't you?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's not
absolutely.
surprising, really. It's not surprising.
Yeah, they've...
It's about destroying women and gay rights as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that too. Yes, you're right. Bobby.
the white man has been destroyed. White man bad. And now it's the women's turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
That's a stream killer.
That's why it must be fought. Yes. But never mind. It's worth
If I
it.
met her, I'll just give her a big hug. That's what
So-
I would do.
Be me too.
So obviously, white men have been destroyed, and if they destroy women, what is the end game of all this? Does anybody know?
Power.
Transhumanism, I should imagine.
That's right.
Get everyone convinced to
Oh.
download themselves onto a computer cloud or something.
Well, didn't we say that was last week a supremacist movement?
It is.
I do see it
kind
as
of.
a supremacist movement.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Kind of,
Feels like
When
it.
0.03% want to control
Rules the
the
roost.
language of everyone, the definitions of everybody, rearranging the entire society to fit around them. Yes, absolutely.
Well, the thing is, the 0.03% don't. The most vehement activists
Oh,
are
yeah,
not themselves
0.1%.
trans.
That's true.
So actually, there are many more fanatical trans rights activists than there are trans people, and there are many trans people who don't agree with them. I know several of them, and the most vicious are often the ones who have no skin in the game as far as being trans
allies.
themselves. They're not. They see it as a
but
very
then anyone
way.
who says they're trans is trans. That's the problem, because you've got people who are just not doing anything whatsoever to change their outward appearance or to live particularly like someone that they perceive to be the opposite sex. They put no effort at all, and yet they would call themselves trans, and it's clearly really not really quite that at all.
But no, it's a very useful way for people to moralize their own political disagreements, and it's always been the case. I mean, the climate change stuff is largely the same. Every fanatic movement in history has tried to use equivalent mechanics to push its own cause, and it doesn't really care about the people that it's campaigning for.
Absolutely.
All it cares about is gaining power. There's never been a more harmful movement for Black Americans, for example, than the Black Civil Rights Movement, and the way that's morphed into essentially just a campaign for grifters and political radicals. Who only campaign to make the lives of the people they speak for worse. That's the same thing. Same thing we're seeing at the moment in Scotland. J.K. Rowling, I think, has had something to say about the way the Gender Recognition Act is being done. Well, I have a friend of mine from university who is he's completely gone on the trans question. He's to the point of sort of rabid conspiracism. Still call him a friend, of course, but he's a nutter. Who will happily get on board with the SNP essentially using trans people as a pretext to manufacture a constitutional crisis in the name of trans rights. Well, what are you campaigning for then? Are you campaigning for trans people, or are you campaigning because you agree with the SNP's political line on the constitutional question? That's what you're actually doing. It's like saying, are you trans rights first, or are you left wing first? And I'm trans rights first, genuine trans rights first.
Well, that's it. I think it's quite clear that this is people. This is the whole point, I believe, of the left co-opting all these disparate groups. The whole intersectionality is to replace the worker, the working people, the working class, because they didn't do as they were told. So now they've created an entire new subclass that they can use to manipulate. And as you rightly said, I do believe, and I have stated this many times on Twitter, that the reason for the GRR bill, the Gender Recognition Bill in Scotland, was knowingly to create a bill that they knew would fail in the British UK government, and that it would be forcing along the India Ref 2, and it was using the trans issue as a political football.
We need a praise the Lord emoji, apparently.
Yes.
Praise! Isn't that the one with the
Praise
two hands going up or whatever?
Praise him.
Yeah.
Praise him.
Yeah.
I use those a lot.
Praise the Lord.
I just think it's... How the hell did we get to this?
Don't know.
By letting them, really.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Yes.
Moving on.
Doctor Who.
Ooh. Doctor Who.
Russell T Davies, apparently he was having a go at modern day scripts because they're rubbish.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
talking
Did
about the woke scripts that are written, and he says that
This
they-
is
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
clearly I was just going to just jump in on there just to say that this is quite clearly, I think, another stab at Chibnall, who went before him. It really is, because that was the epitome of awful diversity high writing. When you actually have writers who put on their profiles, never written anything for TV before, all political playwrights and poets. It doesn't make for good entertainment. So I think he's right to say that. I'm hopeful that he will avoid those pitfalls himself, because it's not the same RTD that we had in 2005. This is during a Labour government in the UK. This is a new RTD who's lived in America, come back from America, filled with the intersectional postmodern politics of the day, and during a conservative government in power. So that remains to be seen. Also, with his talking particularly about people hiring based on diversity rather than talent, which is what he was actually talking about. it's quite interesting what he says there compared to whom he has cast. It's one thing and then the other. So I'm not quite sure really what's happening. And some of the leaks from the sets where he's currently filming are showing quite politically motivated storytelling by the looks of it, with Build Back Better kind of metaphors. Yeah, so I'm kind of nervous really about where this is headed.
No, it's going to be shy.
See, that's where I am too. You said almost everything that's been on my mind. He goes, after he goes away for a little bit, he starts doing some woke stuff. Then he hires a doctor that looks like he ticks a couple of the boxes. And, that's great that he's like sitting there criticizing Chibnall. But Chibnall did actually do some writing for, I forget what show Jodie was on before Doctor Who, but he did some writing for that. So,
Broadchurch.
Yeah.
Broadchurch,
that's
that
it.
was.
And so, I know like he didn't have much experience aside from that, but it's a little scary because this is not the Russell T Davies that was doing like, the 9th and the 10th Doctor, in my opinion. So I'm a little weary of what we're going to get with this new Who. And I think everybody's just gotten to the point where they're like, oh, it's the guy that we like. It's going to be good. It's like, it's a different time. Are we
It remains to be seen, but I am. Yeah, I'm very anxious about it because I've gotten to the point now, sadly, where I'm at apathy level. And usually I'd be on Twitter posting about Doctor Who and things like that and what's going on and excited about the rumours. But I've gotten to the point where I am not excited. I can't even pretend to be excited.
Yeah.
And I feel disconnected from it, quite honestly. And that's sad because I've been a fan of the show since 1979. So it's not a place I really like being.
Here you go, folks. Barbara Lawrence, Johnny Lawrence's mum. Unpopular opinion. I didn't hate Jodie's performance as the Doctor, but the scripts were absolute garbage.
I think that they
like
both
the
go
Doctor
hand
at
in
all.
hand. She was bad
Yeah.
because she wasn't well directed, and also she was bad because the scripts were terrible. So she was on a
totally
fading to
miscast.
nowhere. Yeah, There
She's
you
a
go.
She
decent
didn't
actress.
embody
It's
the
just,
role.
yeah,
No, I don't
that's the
think she is.
thing.
I don't, she didn't
the role
embody
didn't
the role
fit
at
her.
all. It didn't fit. She made there were absolutely no tonal differences, no character beats, or no development to her iteration of the Doctor, because from 3 series, it was the same level all the way through.
Well, and this
all
is
the
the
way
thing,
through.
right? Because they hired her for the strong woman aspect. I didn't feel like she was fearless like some of the
She was
previous male
incompetent.
doctors. That's exactly right.
She was
always
incompetent.
messing up, and it was her companions that were saving her. That's not the
Yeah,
Doctor.
and then
yeah.
and don't forget, that scene where the companion Graham was telling her about his fears for his cancer returning, and her
Yeah.
response was to say, "Well, I'm just going to walk over here and pretend," and there was
And
no.
that was a dumb line. It was so dumb.
It was awful. I'm still angry about it today. That was the complete antithesis to the Doctor, 100%.
Absolutely.
And all her stories at some point seem to revolve around her being a complete narcissist,
Dumbass.
mean-spirited dumbass. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Z, anything to add?
Apprehensive. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm looking forward to the 60th anniversary. I'm pleased to see David Tennant back.
Yeah.
I think the Celestial Toymaker is a massive redirect, and you're in for a very, very shocking original villain who hasn't been around for decades, but has only made 1 appearance so far. But we'll just have to see how it goes. I thought Jodie was absolutely terrible, but that wasn't just down to her because she didn't research the character well. That worked well for Christopher Eccleston because he was rebooting the series, and he pretty much winged it and made it his own, and he was 100% believable. Whereas Jodie Whittaker seemed to forget all of the Doctors she had been previously. It was like she hadn't lived that entire life that we'd seen in the series, and it was a
Yeah,
completely...
you don't see her and think 1,000-year-old Time Lord, do you? At all?
No,
You
no,
just
not
exactly.
at all. Not
someone's
at all.
mum,
But
soccer mum.
even in saying that, it could have been Dame Judi Dench herself playing the Doctor. It wouldn't have changed the scripts, which were absolutely terrible. It was expensively produced fan fiction at best.
Yeah,
And
100%.
Chris Chibnall has got no rights being near this franchise ever again.
He's gone off now to form his own company where he trains up and coming talent to become showrunners. So if you pay him lots of money and go on his course, then I think if you want to do everything he says, and then when you leave that course, you go and do the exact opposite.
Yeah. Or you can be a piece of crap just like him.
Failing upwards,
Yay.
folks.
And
Ian,
failing upwards.
I can only see
Ian?
that the people that are going to be
What?
attending this are going to be the people whose scripts Russell T Davies has rejected.
right.
Probably.
Anything to add, Ian?
No, I just what everybody said is exactly how I think. I think it's hopefully he will give us a good
3 episodes of joy.
Yeah, well, I'm not even sure we'll get that.
Yeah,
because
we will. We'll get 3 episodes.
I hope
of joy.
so.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
it looks like the same thing he did when he first came on Doctor Who.
Yes.
That, I don't know. I've my fingers are crossed. I hope this new Doctor and the one with David Tennant's going to be fun. That's all we can hope for, really.
Right. Okay. Let's move on then.
Harrison Ford.
He was explaining why he wanted to do one more film. Because he wants a new
Because he
play.
wanted money. He needed money.
needed money.
He needed money. Yes.
Are they still reshooting
for a new
this as
plane?
well at the moment?
That's right.
I think they're reshooting the ending, aren't they?
Yeah. Are we going to go watch this out of a morbid curiosity?
I
Not
probably
me.
will. Because I'm a huge fan of Indiana Jones. I'm just fingers crossed it's going to be good, but it probably won't be.
They've got time to make it good, but I don't think they will they?
No, they won't.
Doubtful. Yeah.
But you got to give it to Harrison Ford. He's in his 80s and he still looks
80,
fit. He still pumps the iron every morning and stuff.
Yeah.
He's looked after himself really well.
In the chat, Atom Gray, money. There you go.
Right on.
Well, I mean,
we shall see.
It looks like they're listening to the fans, and they've. If the rumors are true,
Yeah, I
they've
hope
gotten rid of
Waller Bridge.
Bridge. Yeah, a lot in the film, and
Now,
They're
Ian, where
shooting
did
the
you hear
ending.
these rumors?
various sources.
Meow.
One called Mr. Cock.
I don't know if I would buy that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He was right about a few things, though. Let's face it. So
I genuinely think everybody will go see this, don't you?
No.
I think
do
it's going to
think
be a hit.
No, yes.
It'll be a hit.
I think the
It'll be a
normies
hit.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a hit.
Just to see Harrison one more time, to be fair.
Yeah, I've had enough of
But
Harrison.
they're just not going to do him justice, though, is
If
it?
you want to watch more Harrison, go and watch his old films.
Yeah, exactly. And also, he's in a new show, isn't he? Apple TV called Shrinking. He plays a
Yeah.
psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in.
See, here you go, Andy Mouse. I will.
Fair play.
Uninspired. I'll check that out. Sorry, the chat moved up. There you go. Tim Hannabom. I like saying Hannabom. Indiana Jones and the Prisoner of Kathleen Kennedy, which is spot on, to be fair, but there you go. Okay, so we'll move on. It'll be a hit, won't it? Everybody's.
He'll make money. I'm
Yeah.
not sure it'll be,
Yeah.
like people remember it. But the question is, why did they cast Waller Bridge? Couldn't they have cast the girl who played Marion in the film? That would have made more sense, right? Or Short
since
Round,
they're
that would have made more
There you
sense
go.
as well.
Look.
Yeah.
I miss Marion from the original.
Yeah, so I don't understand why they
killed
obviously
her
they're
off,
making a
apparently.
statement with this woman, aren't they? So
I think they
that's
should
the
have
first.
recast Shia LaBeouf and just had his
Yeah,
son in
maybe.
it as an older
Yeah.
version.
Something would have been
I
nice.
don't
Some
even
sort
think
of
that.
connection. Yeah.
It should have been short round. That would have been amazing if they got short round older, older guy. It would have been amazing. But anyway.
Okay, let's move on then.
Oh, she's not well.
Daisy, bless her, claims Ray's story ended in a wonderful way.
Well,
she is so dumb.
She doesn't know fuck, does she? Come on.
Nope. She's got shit for brains.
Yeah. She doesn't. She's got to say that, though, isn't she? Because she wants more work from the Disney, the House of the Mouse, doesn't she? She wants more work.
Well,
so.
didn't somebody
Isn't she
last week
getting
say
it?
there's a film on the way or something?
Really?
There's a rumor that they're going to carry on Star Wars with the Rey character in it. So
That's the only work she can get, isn't it? Like, she's not hireable.
I think that she's been in a couple of movies. I think.
How did they do?
Very successful ones, not very successful ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say. She's not desirable. Nobody wants to hire her.
If I was in charge of the next Star Wars film, I said this before, I'd make sure she's dressed in a way that she looks really hot. She gets her ass beaten, and then she comes back at the ending. That's what's needed to be done with this character.
It looks like she's wearing a chest binder. That's not really that good a look.
She's a surfboard. Absolutely.
They just made her into a boy in this film. It was ridiculous.
Steals everything.
Yeah. What we have to do is make her a hot-looking woman in the next one. That's what you need to do. You definitely
give her a
do
perm.
that. Cherry perm.
Give her some soul glow.
Soul glow.
Put some bright red lipstick on, some heels.
Yeah.
That's right. I think we found a fan. Here you go. Chat moved up. Tim, I like saying this, Hannibal. She's lovely but mismanaged.
That is true. I actually met her once.
miscast.
She's a nice girl. Just it's just a shame that she's been treated this way, I guess.
Oh, poor Daisy.
The curse of Kennedy.
Poor Daisy. Give me your answer to. I'm half crazy. Moving on.
I can fix her.
I'm sure you can.
Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of Lord stuff. Obviously, there's big energy crisis going on with huge bills. Shell announced profits this week.
You can be sure of Shell.
You can. Get this right. 32. That's 32 billion pounds.
Wow. Crazy,
Damn.
crazy money.
90. This is almost as much as the Lord gets from his YouTube vids every day. 90 million quid.
It's not even close to what he gets every day.
It's a non-story. I mean, it's the BBC demonstrating a sub-GCSE grasp of economics, as you would expect.
Yes, that's why.
So the £32 billion is worldwide profit. It's not profit on UK ratepayers. The government already taxes Shell at a rate of above 75% on every piece of profit it earns in this country. And Shell, as a result of incredibly high corporation tax rates in this country particularly, has decided that it can't continue with investments in the North Sea, meaning that we're exacerbating the energy crisis, which is going to drive up prices more because shortages drive up prices of unit. If you've got an oil price crisis, of course energy companies gain more money because the price of oil has gone up. What you need to do is create more energy, which brings the price of oil down, which stabilizes their profits in a way which is much more profitable for them in the long term, whilst also not fleecing us with incredibly high energy rates. BBC is attempting to say that Shell has earned £32 billion in this country, which is untrue, because the government isn't taxing them enough, which is untrue. And by so doing, it's just propagating the very reason that Shell has managed to make a profit anyway, most of which will be gone on maintenance costs, investment costs in other parts of the world without such high tax rates, and which will not be sustainable in the long term anyway, because energy prices go in waves. So Shell has to make lots of money now, because in future years, when the price of oil goes down, it will make no money, and in fact it might make a loss. It all equalizes out in the end. Attempting to shift blame onto oil companies is just silly, but predictable.
You should be on Question Time, Ben.
It's gonna happen.
Is
Is that like a quiz show?
Yeah, no, well,
yes, it is.
Yes,
In
that
a
man
way.
in the tie over there. Next question, please. The man in the tie.
Okay, so why? So for the UK, why exactly at this moment, Lord, do we have high prices for?
He just said.
Yeah, there's a little war
in-
going on in Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
from which much of Europe was getting its oil and no longer is, which means we can't very easily buy up oil from the continent. In the meantime, you have the United States, which was energy independent and exporting oil
Yeah.
until a magical thing just happened a few years ago, and it stopped for no reason attributable to the Biden administration's energy policies at all, of course. So we can't buy from them either. We've never produced enough for us to be going with, and prices worldwide are rising. So our price rises are roughly in line with almost every European country save France, because France has a huge nuclear industry. Ordinarily, we'd be able to buy up some surplus nuclear power from France, which would lower our energy bills. But because France isn't able to generate enough nuclear power for the entire continent of Europe, it's not able to sell us stuff, which would keep the energy bills coming down. Had we invested in nuclear along the lines the French did, at the time the French did, we would be fine right now. But we didn't, because we are idiots. And so
we've been
we are...
closing
We're not
coal-fired
idiots.
power
They
stations down as well,
Yeah.
because of the Thunberg effect, as we've said.
The Funberg.
Okay.
Well,
let's,
Thatcher, really.
yeah, let's move on then.
You had to ask.
I saw this just before we came on. The Bank of England are trying to get rid of. Well, they're saying here the effectively digital currency by 2030. So they're trying to get rid of cash, which I think they're trying to
Big
get rid of
mistake.
cash anyway. It's not a good sign to get rid of cash, is
No.
it?
No. Because
No.
they'll own your ass.
Because they will
They
know
basically-
everything you've
yeah.
bought.
Well, not just
Well,
that,
imagine
but if
your
everything
card
goes
is
digital,
stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's a collapse or if there's
Yeah.
all sorts of things, you need something in your pocket that you can barter with, which is usually a pound,
a
pound
credit
notes,
card.
really. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
but if the systems are down, you can't run a
anything
credit
can
card.
go
So what do
wrong.
you pay with? Yeah,
yeah.
Well, sell your ass, don't you?
yeah, pretty much.
You pay with.
Here you go, Franco. I only use cash.
There you are. I think
It
more
doesn't go
people
well. I
need
mean-
to start using cash.
I don't know. I mean, at the moment, cash is not doing particularly well just because of inflation. But I mean, a number of countries have attempted to bring in digital currencies, usually as a bid to bust inflationary crises. So I think Sierra Leone has done this. Venezuela experimented with this. And
that's a
another
good
number
sign.
of other South American countries did as well. Any country that introduces a central digital currency ends up with more of the problem that the currency was designed to do away with. Because at least with money printing, physical money printing, there is some loose tie to the availability of resource to print the money. And it's much more obvious to people. It's not obvious enough, but it's much more obvious to people when the government is actually printing trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds, which creates the inflation that we have then to print more money to give to people in their pockets to combat the effects of inflation, because that's sensible economic policy. With a digital pound, though, there's no real means to check the government in its creation of new currency. There aren't very many means already, but there's no means to check the creation of digital currency. So you will end up getting huge money printing on the sly, which will create more inflation, which will increase the demand for digital currency. And we end up in a situation where the entire economy is just kept on life support by a government printing non-existent cash, or non-cash, e-cash, and thereby in control, in effect, of the entire economy. And it will have to bail us out by creating more of it. And it's a complete nonsense system. People really ultimately have a problem with fiat currency generally. The ability of the government as the sole money printer is the problem we have, and it's the reason we have inflation. What we really ideally would be doing is moving away from a state of affairs where the government is in sole charge of how much currency floats around the economy. But this is the opposite move. This is just centralizing even more. It's a terrible idea, so I have no doubt we'll go for it.
There's
There you go.
optimism.
You had to
Oh,
ask.
God.
Anybody think he was a kind of a financial journalist, would you? Here we go. Uninspired reviewer. My drug dealer only takes cash. Digital is bad for him and me.
It'll be a cold day in hell before I Venmo a homeless person some money.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Would you like some
digital,
Ethereum?
digital currency probably not good.
No.
Everybody use cash.
Digital currency bad.
Did anybody see this? This
What's that?
spy balloon.
Yes.
But they shot it down, didn't they?
They did shut it
Eventually.
down
Yes.
yesterday, didn't they?
They shot
And
it
all
down
it
China's
needed
yesterday
was
morning.
pissed.
A big pin to pop it. That's all. I mean, wehy shoot it down? Just send
It was
a pin.
about 60,000 feet, wasn't
Well,
it?
why did they send
Yeah.
it? Was
To
it an
spy,
accident?
they say.
Was it an accident? Did it
No,
float
they said
out
it
the
was
way or
to.
something? What?
Wasn't it supposedly to just kind of explore and look at stuff? I can't remember the exact reason, but it definitely wasn't benign like it was said to be. It was.
Oh,
I think
right.
they were trying to see what they could get away with over U.S. soil, and the fact that Biden initially was like, "Oh no big deal, we're not going to touch it." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is the country that has the potential to do a lot of damage to a lot of countries. You're going to let that balloon just sit over there?" So I was like doing cartwheels when I found out they shut it down yesterday morning. Not going to lie.
I don't understand why they did it in the first place. Are they
Because
claiming
they're-
it was a mistake that
The Chinese government's official line was that it was a weather balloon that was blown
Yes.
off course. It just so
Right.
happened that its course took it from Canada over Canada's most sensitive military sites, all
Yep.
the way down through the United States, just happened to go over every sensitive military site in the United States purely by accident. Then
Yeah.
it finally got over to the other ocean, on the other side of the country, and then the Biden administration said, maybe we should shoot this down now. Their excuse for not doing it earlier was that if we pop the balloon, it might land on someone on the ground, and that would be bad.
Yeah.
But
Who cares?
I made this point on Twitter. Like we are what is it 40 years from 1983? In 1983, you had Ronald Reagan saying we will build a network of space lasers to defeat the communists, and now we have the Biden administration 40 years later saying, well, we can't possibly pop a balloon because that might hurt people. Just
Yeah.
the mindset shift in America is just really staggering. From the
So hold
we
on.
will destroy
nuts.
everything,
So
so we will
hold
not
on. So
touch
what you're
them.
saying, Ben, is that they allowed the balloon to go over the
Yes.
the part, and so in other words, they probably got the information, didn't they, before they
They
shot it
So
probably
down?
did.
all those times that you've gone through airport security, you've removed your shoes, you've removed your belts, you've taken all the liquids out, you put them all into these plastic bags, and then all that because of 9/11. You know, because they didn't want to shoot down these planes because they were in some sort of, combat training or whatever at the time, and then they enforce all these rules and the ever increasing rules on what you can do, what you can't do, and then they allow this balloon just to traipse over again in their aerospace, like during 9/11 when you had these planes flying through and not taken down, and they could have done. But here we have this, and they don't. Again,
We're
it's
overcautious because of
ridiculous.
quote unquote potential terrorism,
With
but
Biden, isn't it?
yeah.
Lord?
Well, I mean, so there are a couple of things. In the first place, we don't know exactly what was on board the balloon before it was blown up, and there is a chance that actually whatever was on it was incredibly low tech, and actually the purpose of sending it over was really just kind of trolling. It's not
I agree with
beyond
that.
communist regimes. The Soviet Union put a black man on the moon to troll the United States, and for no other reason than that. Wouldn't put it past the Chinese at all just to send a balloon over because it knows that it will just create a panic, and
Black
that shows
man
what
on
they
the
can
moon.
do. And it's a kind of agitprop.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Yeah.
The other thing is that now yesterday, as of 39 minutes ago, officials in, I think it was the State Department, came out and said, well, actually, I know everyone's shitting on the Biden administration, but 3 of these flew over the United States during the Trump era, and Trump didn't tell anyone about it. That doesn't seem to me very believable, though, because this wasn't announced by the State Department. This balloon was not announced by government first, and then people got worried about it. This was spotted by people on the ground, and
That's
then it
right.
generated a news buzz, and then the government responded. Are we really saying that happens now, but 3 of them fly over during Trump's time, and no one spotted a single one or 4 to complain about it?
Here you go,
Doesn't
folks.
seem
Exactly.
tenable to me.
Here you go, folks. Theodore Kingston Biskley in the chat needed a large prick to take it down, but Trump was voted out.
Well, they got shot down anyway. Bang, bang, bang.
I think the Chinese smell weakness.
I'm still on the black man on the moon, mate. I'm still on that.
That's what they did. But they used to do that all the time because it was like the 1960s, and obviously America has this huge race riot problem. So the Soviet Union made huge efforts to prove to black people in America, well, not really to piss off black people in America. They used to put out adverts, like proper Soviet communist propaganda, showing how black people could be uplifted by the workers' revolution, and inciting it. And, you know, there's allegations that they funded Martin Luther King and people like him as well. But they went as far as putting a black man on the moon, or at least in space. Sorry, not on the moon. They put a black man in space to prove a point, and
Excellent.
that was it.
Here you go, folks. Time Profit with a thinking man's joke at Mr. Brown Alliance. That's me. Was this really a prisoner episode?
Probably.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. Bill Gates versus
Bill Gates
Musk.
has been having a go at Musk.
Oh, yeah, we
Space
do,
ambitions.
Nice.
Musk wants to go to Mars.
Yeah, he's been wanting to go to Mars. He just can't make a rocket that doesn't explode for the most part.
And the self-appointed Bill Gates, doctor of the planet, says we should just be doing more
He's
vaccines.
the last person we should be taking health advice
Yeah.
from. Have you seen the state of him?
He's got moves.
He's got like bitch tits
He's old.
going on.
He's
hasn't he?
old, yeah. He's old.
Well, yeah, he pudgy. You don't need to be giving out health advice.
He's not even qualified to give health advice.
That's right. He's not a medical doctor. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
There's people like Elon Musk wanting to go to Mars. I was watching a documentary on YouTube today. These two scientists trying to create an impulse drive.
Oh, like Star Trek.
Yeah. And another video was about ion drives, so it could go to Mars. And stuff like that is, to me, that is fascinating, and that's the best of mankind. And
it
yet
has-
all we're doing is arguing about fucking gender.
Yeah, I mean, it's navel
Pretty
gazing
much.
is,
Also,
Yeah.
or
Genital
gazing.
gazing.
It's the same thing. But it's a complete false equivalence, or false dichotomy. Even half of the stuff that the space race generates is really brilliant when it's used back
Memory
on
foam.
Earth. You wouldn't have MRI scanners if it weren't for the space race in the 1960s. I guarantee you that some technology that was created to put men in space is now used in the manufacture, production, and injection of vaccines. Guarantee it. There will be something in there that we gained because of technological advances designed to put man in
Ketamine.
space. Yeah.
yes.
That was used on astronauts.
It's also
So they
we
wouldn't get a
already
cold.
have an incredibly effective measles vaccine, and we've had it for years, and to the point where measles was not an issue in the Western world. It's only recently re-emerged in the United States as a public health problem because people are refusing to take the vaccines that have already been used and approved and that have worked. Part of the reason they don't like taking them anymore is because people like Bill Gates have successfully managed to turn the entire vaccine industry into a bogeyman, which unfortunately has the effect of delegitimizing very effective and safe vaccines, because he's been pushing for very experimental ones that people are unsure about. There's a demonstrable link between people pushing vaccine mandates and resistance to vaccines increasing. If Bill Gates actually wants to save people from the measles vaccine, he should
Shut your
probably
mouth.
shut up about vaccines.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Here you go, folks. Cerebral palsy biker. We wouldn't have Velcro. Yes. Or pot noodles.
Or
Sure.
Jerry Curls.
Or memory foam.
Stop.
Or smash. Smash potato.
Or mash get smashed. Or memory foam pillows.
Memory foam. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
I truly hope we go to Mars in my lifetime.
Yeah.
You can
I
volunteer,
feel like
bro.
going now.
I would.
I'd
go.
Just get away
I'd
from
go.
Twitter.
I love shit like this. I would go.
Yeah,
Why?
I think you should.
There's nothing out there.
Because
Apart from the
I'd
Martians,
Go.
I guess.
Just-
the Martians.
I'd go.
Martian Manhunter.
Three-titted ladies. I
That's
mean,
true, yeah.
Right up Brown's alley.
There you
Here you go. Andy Mouse. This is becoming a habit now. You're welcome, Andy. Fucking pot noodles. Brown, you kill me. It's fucking true. Fucking pot noodles.
Oh dear.
That is true. I like pot noodles when I was a
I do.
young man.
I do enjoy a pot noodle every now and again. Okay, shall we move on from pot noodle news?
Do it.
Yes.
Oh, Melinda Dillon. Oof.
Close Encounters woman, the wife, she died. It was a month ago, actually, but it was only
Yeah.
just announced.
But they didn't announce it until recently.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
She's one of these actresses that's really, really good, but got overlooked by everything. So, yeah. It's a shame she's gone.
Great film, Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Beautiful film.
It was the film that made me want to become a director. I blame that
Oh.
film every
So it's
day.
Close Encounters' fault.
Yes, it is. Spielberg's fault. That's what it is. Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. I didn't know that, Ian.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was one scene in the film that made me, when I came out of the cinema, I was like, yeah, I've got to do that. That's what I've got to do for a living. Haven't achieved it yet, but I'm still trying. Trying.
Here you go. Pleasant Valley Picker, CA. She was a good actress. She was.
She
Yeah.
was.
Yes.
I liked her best in A Christmas Story, but that's
Yeah,
just
she
me.
played the mother, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. F. McPherson. It was a film that made me stop eating mashed potatoes.
I had mashed potato today, funnily enough.
Here you go.
Who's
Did you have
mommy's little
Smash?
piggy? Show me how the
Wookie
piggies
Fever,
eat.
rest in peace.
Aw.
Yeah.
Time Prophet. Rest in
Indeed.
peace, Caliclon. A very, very sad loss.
She was old school, wasn't she? I mean, her
Still
techniques
old.
of acting
Yeah.
was very old schoolish, unlike some of the actors we have today that just don't know how to do it. These actors knew exactly what they were doing, and they had a method as well. So
Close Encounters is a great movie.
it is so well directed.
So if you've not watched it for a while, folks, get it watched. I think that will be
It's
good
on
homework.
Netflix, or it was when I watched it.
Yeah.
No, it's come off
Glorious
Netflix now.
filthy. Is it? Oh, that's a
Yeah, it's
shame.
come off. They're taking it
I'm
off.
glad I watched it when I did then. 'cause
Yeah,
I don't
I've got it
have
on Blu-ray. Got it on DVD, Blu-ray, and a NTSC copy and a PAL copy. I've got like 5 copies of it.
Wow.
Loads
That's
of
all?
them. Yeah, just that's all. Yeah.
Okay, so rest in peace, Melinda Dillon.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And finally,
And finally,
Eye test.
finally.
no, it's
Here we
bigger. The
go.
writing's bigger. Can you not see? The writing's bigger now.
Wow.
Right, okay, so are we sitting comfortably?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll begin.
Ah,
Oh.
that's smaller. That's
Yeah.
that's much smaller.
I did the wrong order. This is where I fucked up, folks. There we go.
Oh,
Ugh.
There we go.
that's nice.
Well done.
Beck Gold.
I
Rebecca
see,
Gold.
Rebecca Gold. I see you got your lens flare there from the school of
That's
Star Trek.
JJ.
School
Yeah,
Photoshop
JJ
lens flare, folks.
That's
there we
right.
go.
Absolutely.
Photoshop 3.5, courtesy
That's right.
of the Mega Geek.
Mm.
She looks great, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Who watched this premiere this week?
I had to watch it.
I watched it. I was there.
Z,
Yeah.
did you watch it, Z?
What, the preview? 16
Yeah,
job?
what did you think?
Go and recommend everybody go and watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very
it
If you
looks
kind.
could,
really
I
good.
was only
Could
surprised
somebody
there
put
wasn't
the
a
link in the
regeneration
chat?
scene.
Yeah.
Could somebody put the? Is it somebody able to?
I've got it here, so I'll
Link in the chat, in the main chat, so people can have a
Yeah.
of
I'll do
butchers at their perusal.
Mm.
Rennie, you've seen it? You were in the chat.
Yeah.
weren't
Yeah, I was a latecomer, but to me, it looks pretty good. Looks like it's going to have a lot of action. So I highly recommend everybody check it out because probably going to be the underdog of the year. Because as you
probably.
guys
Cheers.
know, modern entertainment pretty much sucks. Yeah, that wasn't me.
Wasn't me either.
No, it was the hubby. Just opened a can of soda
Right.
pop kind of stuff. So
you?
Yeah.
In the chats, Gui Ramos. This looks like the cover of 80s. It is.
It is.
We know him. It is. Mate. It is. It is.
Go and watch it and find out.
Here you
extra
go.
1,000
See, this is
views.
it. My beautiful moderators. Here you go. There's a link.
That's cool.
yay!
I mean, I've got to literally say thank you to the Lord
Yep.
and Blue Boy and definitely Ian and everybody that helped get this more
Don't get
exposure.
emotional on us.
No, I'm just
please.
saying, you got to thank people. Where you
Yeah.
got to thank them. So thank
He's
you
got a
very much,
tinny.
sir.
So,
Yeah.
obviously, this was a 6-minute prologue.
Yeah.
Well,
What's the goal for the folks
okay, so
at home?
basically the reason why I did it is because the original actress left the project, so I had to introduce the new girl that was playing the character. So, and also it was to just see if people would would be used to this new girl. And it seems like a lot of people, like I said, I've had a lot of emails saying that they prefer her than the other actress,
I do as well.
even though it's
Oh,
only
that's
6 minutes.
Yeah, I
So and also it's meant to just set it up. So if you've seen season 1, you'll understand the 6-minute prologue. And this year I'm going to be shooting the whole of season 2. Hopefully by the end of the year I should have all of it done, and then I will screen it. But I'm also looking for money as well, so I've got a GoFundMe if anyone wants to stick in money.
Obviously, you've done it's 6 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we know how long it's going to be?
What, the season 2?
Yeah.
It's going to be 115 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Long, but I'm going to have a version where you can just watch it as a feature, and then I'm going to have a version where it's episodes. So
So is it going to be like
I'm
sorry, Ian, is it going to be like a mini series? Because you said it's only 115 minutes long, which is about like a little less than 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Or is that per episode?
No. 150 minutes long. When all of them are stuck together, every episode we're going to try and make it either 5 minutes long or 6 or 7 minutes long. I think one's 10 minutes long. So I know people's attention span's quite short. So I think 5 and 6, maybe even 10 is the right way to go with each episode. So yeah.
You said there's a GoFundMe.
There is a GoFundMe. Yes. On the
Are you able
YouTube
to post
channel.
I've put the link for the GoFundMe.
Right, here we go.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be self-funded by yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Wow, that's a long link.
It is a really long link. So.
No, it's quite short on the. I think it does that sometimes.
Yeah, the thing is, the link will. I've put the link in the description for the stream. It's quite expensive making movies and television, isn't it?
It is indeed. But luckily, so basically, I'm going out on a limb here. Nobody's under contract. None of these actors are under contract. I've literally said to them, I'm going to have faith in humanity, because you guys said you'll complete it. And the reason why it's taking so long is because all the actors are working, so I have to work around them. So that's why it's not a Hollywood situation I've got here. It's it's a low budget thing. So, but I will complete it though, definitely. And you won't regret it if you watch it. That's what I can say.
We were thinking this would make a great video game character.
Somebody said that, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
Spy
Ian,
series, female, jobs are good 'un.
Sorry.
So, question for you. So you're going to do these little mini episodes, right? Are you going to get it to the point where, or are you going to make it to the point that if you actually decided to binge it, it would play like a movie where it's just kind of all flowing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
would
there'd be
a
two
good idea.
versions. Like on season 1, there's 2 versions. There's one where you can watch each episode, and then there's one where you can just watch it the entirety all together, stuck together, like a TV episode. And with this, we're going to do the same thing as well. So it'll be up there if you want to
Here
watch
you go, Ian. Ugly Stupid Loser. A 10,000 budget.
No, it's I'm going to look for
lot more than
10,000,
that.
but I've
Yeah.
already got the budget for it, but I'm just want to top it up.
Yeah.
So it's
The thing is, we didn't want to kind of take, excuse my French, take the piss, really, I suppose.
no.
I think you're just kind of looking for a contribution, aren't you?
Yeah, just
because you're going to do it
contributions,
anyway,
yeah.
aren't you?
I'm going to do it anyway, so
Yeah.
it'd be nice for a little bit of help.
It's
That'd
your
be good.
passion project, isn't it?
I wouldn't. This is the thing. I wouldn't say it's a passion project of mine. I got stuck with it because I literally wrote this for the original girl who played it,
Yeah.
and I was quite surprised she abandoned it because she was moaning one day, and I said, "Oh, I'll write something for her." So I wrote it, and then when it was screened on YouTube, and it won loads of awards around the world, so everybody was saying, "When is season 2?" And I got kind of bombarded by that question, so I decided, okay, well, I'll do it again. And then when I decided to do it again, she left the project, so now I'm stuck with it. But it should be fun to shoot, and it's got action in it and stuff.
Here you go. Anti-derivative Jill asks the question: the synopsis of the show.
There is a synopsis. If you watch season 1 and you look on the description, there's a synopsis. You got to understand that the prologue. You have to watch season 2. So that's the thing.
Season 1, you mean?
Sorry, season 1. Sorry, I said corrected.
Well, give the audience just a taste of who she is. Just a brief.
Well, okay, right.
Sell
so
it to us. Come on, sell it to us.
Sell it.
Sell it.
Pitch.
The synopsis is basically a geeky assassin is on a job, and she basically, while she's on the job, she basically bumps into a high school crush. And in season 1, she ends up trying to protect her because the rule is that you have to kill everyone in the room. That's the premise of season 1, and season 2 just carries on with that premise. But she's an assassin, and she kills people for a living. She works for a huge company around the world. So yeah, that's what she does. And she's gay, so there you go. So there you go. I didn't do that. That it wasn't a deliberate thing because Rebecca was created before all of this nonsense started.
Yeah, I know.
And
There's
she
the
originally
irony of
was
it all,
gay.
isn't it?
Yeah. She originally was gay. And if you watch my film Bad Day, which is on Netflix, I have 2 female leads and a black guy. So I was well there before.
You are so woke.
Woke as fuck.
And that film was made over 10 years ago. So there you go. So
see, pre-woke.
You were doing
Pre-woke,
woke before woke was cool, Ian.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here you go. Andy Mouse asked the question: female Leon.
Well, she isn't as thick as Leon, but I guess it, or Nikita. It's the same kind of tone, Nikita or whatever female assassin you want to bring up. But yeah.
Once it's made, will you be taking it on the circuit like you did with the original?
Probably the festival circuit, probably. But if somebody rescues me, if the 20th Century Fox comes up and they say they want to make it into a movie,
Well, it's Disney, isn't it?
Or no. Well, if Disney gave me a shitload of money, I'm not going to say no, am I? Rebecca probably turned out black and gay, so
Oh no.
there you go. So there you go. But anyway,
I will say best of luck with that, mate.
yeah, cheers.
Non-binary.
Seriously, thank you for everyone that watched it and helped and
How many views at the moment?
I think I don't know.
It was approaching 4,000 views, which
Yeah, it was
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice. And as I said, if it wasn't for Ben and Drinker and stuff like that.
It's currently at 3,925 views.
Wow.
Oh,
Nearly at 4,000.
Yeah, there you go.
So here you go,
It's
uninspired,
very
3.9.
Yeah.
Gui Ramos, I'm looking forward to watching it, by the way. I'll contribute a few dollars. Nice.
Oh, that's nice of you, sir.
Hey.
Sorry for the joke, but first, that's all right.
In fact, I nearly forgot to do a super chat. How dare I?
Oh, the movie cynic gave you money. Good God!
And you ignored him.
Yeah,
Sorry, Matthew.
he still gave you money, even though what we said about Batman in this stream. He still gave you money.
The movie cynic in the chat for $10. Thank you, sir. Let's campaign for Elliot Page as Harry Potter in the reboot.
Oh my God.
Oh, I
What has
think
she
I'm gonna
done?
be sick.
Potter, the girl who lived. And
What
then
did she
had an
do to
operation.
herself? She's horrible.
No.
Not good, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
Ah, well.
Here you go. Look, see, the boys are donating.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Aw,
It's
that's
very nice of you.
nice.
Mm.
It's very nice.
We can do it, Ian. We can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Okay, so.
Oh, you missed MJ UK 84's comment, which I thought was quite good.
That one?
Yeah.
Do you want to read it?
No, yeah. It'd be Roberto Gold, trans assassin.
That's probably what would happen. It's probably what would happen.
Roberto
If
Gold.
Disney were to make it, yes.
Well,
And your
what's the
husband's
Spanish
in
word
the
for
chat.
gold?
Your husband's in the chat there, Rennie.
That's right. Yeah, he's sitting right next to me.
Tiny Ron Lethbridge in the chat. Good day, peoples. Stealth mode.
With his
active.
tinny, sitting there with his tinny.
His tinny. What's that?
Okay.
It's a can of beer.
Kind of.
Oh yeah, no, he's drinking these like
Pop.
little soda things. They're not quite soda, like the
Pop.
bubbly drinks, but a different brand.
So I'll just say, everybody, the link to Ian's channel and the I think the GoFundMe is in the channel description. I think we put it in the chat as well. So any donation of any size will be truly appreciated by Ian.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Every little bit helps.
Please tell your friends.
Yes. Okay.
Share the video all over social media.
That's right. Do
Okay,
it.
so I think that is it, folks. In fact, I know it is. So get the picture
Darn,
back
I
up.
missed out on the James Gunn can eat a bag of dicks discussion, huh?
You did indeed.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that is it, folks. So, chat, you are wonderful, but you already know that. So, always great interaction. Apologies for a little bit too much DC, but I suppose that was the only thing that's happened this week other than Ian's Rebecca Gold or Roberto Gold.
Roberto Gold.
Trans assassin.
Trans assassin.
You sing the theme.
Wouldn't
Sing
it
the
just be
theme tune, write the theme.
transaction or transaction?
Transassassin. Transassassin. Yeah.
Woo!
Sorry.
Dear, oh dear.
Sounds hot.
Easy. I know you're excited because you're on and with the boys. I know you're excited, Rennie. Okay. Chat, you are wonderful. We will see you next time. I'm going to try and do some slides for Winter Soldier. If I can get a better copy of the film that isn't blurred to hell. So we'll see what happens for next Saturday. So if that doesn't happen, we will be back next Sunday. You can be assured of that. So have a great week, everybody. I will thank the guests in order of my screen. From the bottom, Rennie L.
Thank you. And it was great to talk to all of you guys. Sorry, I know I jumped on a little bit late, but
Naughty girl.
I know,
Well,
but I've
you
got to be like
naughty day
Elizabeth
then.
Taylor. Got to be
I think
fast.
it's my first time with you on this stream, Rennie.
on the Brown channel. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I believe
That
so.
was pleasant.
It's been nice. I was like, oh, he's got all the goodies on that I haven't spoken to in a while, and I'd love to chat with them. So it's been nice catching up with you guys. And Brown, are we still doing Godfather 2 this month?
Hopefully, yes. That's another film I need to do. Okay, so
I was thinking, well, I thought that you or Brian did the slides last year.
for number
Probably
one.
lost them.
Oh,
I thought we're doing
no.
number two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I thought that you went ahead and watched ahead. And
I
you did number
I
two.
watched it, but I never did the slides. But
Ah.
I'll sort that out at some point. So
Okay.
thank you, Rennie.
Thank you.
Mega Geek. Cheers, Ian.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. I've just ordered my Soul Glow.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Just let your soul glow.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Brilliant.
Z, thank you, my friend.
Always welcome, sir.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh,
the wonderful
You and your oil bath again.
as. Oh, sorry. Problem being.
Oh, don't.
That is not
Dare you.
right.
Cheers, Lee. Good to have you on, mate.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I hope I didn't talk over you too much. In
No,
fact, I
you
don't
were
think I
very
did.
good today. Shut up.
Yes, yes, miss. Yes, miss. And last but by no
Misgendered
means
me.
least, the main man himself, the Lord, everybody. Cheers, little platoon. Cheers, Ben.
Thank you as ever.
I think that's it.
That
We're out of
voice.
here, boys and girls. You have a great week. We shall see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Wow.
Toodaloo.